Shit. We apologise, everyone. Please come back. Where are you? We are back. We're back. We're back. We're back. Please share the stream. We apologise massively. I don't know what happened there. It's the denying force. The denying force happens every week. So big up, everyone. We are back. It's the second part of the stream. We've got another hour or so to go. Thank you. Yes, Andy Pandy. Big up, Bradley. Look at all you guys. Don't know what happened. Maybe YouTube censors took it down, but that was all original music. We were only playing our own music. Maybe they did. Okay, reshared. So at least we've got 6 people tuning back in again. Right, let's get that other camera going with Omar Beats on it, because at the end of the day, we need to get back to exactly where we were. Rise Above on a Friday night. Sorry for that. You know, sometimes when we're having the best time or we're either talking about something controversial,
we get booted out.
I get booted out. Yeah, I'm going to need to send a new invite to the Guardians. You are muted. Yes, you are. So there's Omar Beats as well. Let's just invite back Inner Guardians and the rest of the team. Apologise for this, guys. These things happen. You are unmuted anyway. Yeah, so you play some music. Don't
believe me? Go study history. Go study. Go study. Go study
history.
Don't believe me. Don't believe me. Don't believe me.
Carry on, just carry on doing it. I'm just inviting everyone back. No one's bored by your mixing. I'm just inviting back in the Guardians, everyone, because we weren't finished with that chat. And last of all, we will invite back a spoken word nerd.
Admiral Bird Nerd.
Admiral Bird Nerd, we'll invite him back as well.
Don't believe me.
Hello, Magics. We're back. We apologise, everyone. Oh, shit. We're down to 25 people. It doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. Go study history.
Go study.
Politicians, professors, and scientists, they got controlled by some Rothschild Zionists. Through 2 world wars, they've been trying this. Corporate investment, no matter who the finalists. Don't believe me? Go study history. Check the activity of bloodline dynasty. Sumer, Egypt, and Rome consistently. Pan-European imperial misery. Yo, enact social change, so they want it. But we must abstain. If you don't, then you're in for a world of pain. A workhouse where you dream of a minimum wage. Yeah, it's closer than we think. We'd be there now if it wasn't for the cosmic shift. They're panicking. The game is up. It's all illusion. The only truth is love. This goes deep because they rewrote the history books. You can't quote how the real history looks. Empires thrive from the lands they took. We're in the same boat. It's kept afloat by crooks. It's been the same way for more than 1,000 years. There's no love here. All you're allowed is fear. Break through the clouds so the sky is clear. Satanic whispers hidden in the sounds of prayers. Cold hearts, no empathy. Fill positions of power in our embassies. Stone circles and burning effigies. Chant mantras to bring forth entities. Yo, 33 listeners, 33 viewers live inside the session. It's a Rise Above session, the HQ. Andy PG, I'll just hand it over to you, mate. Go on, Omar Beats. Go study history. We're just getting everybody back in before we start talking about Antarctica again. Go study history. Right. Inner Guardians. Oh shit, we've got to send the invite to Inner Guardians. I have. I'll send it again. Inner Guardians, Lee, please come back. Big up everybody, we're back. We apologise. Backstage. Just going to share the screen as well. Oh, you got it. Damn, son. Yo, listen. Okay then. All right. As we get more viewers tuned back in, we're back. It's Rise Above. Yo. more content, more substance, more high-grade lyrics, live in abundance. We don't deal with assumptions. I eat Samboy for my luncheons with more content, more substance, more high-grade, live in abundance. Lee Guardians, I've sent it to you on Facebook Messenger. You got the link. Big up Inner Guardians, please come back. Inner Guardians, please come back and we're live on the track. You got the new link in the Guardians? I just sent it to you, brother. Let's go. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Rise Above. We apologise for the difficulties. The denying force is trying to stop us. Big up Joanne Goodwill. Yo. It's like, I'll bust one more. Okay, here we go. Yo. It's like Clash of the Titans, blood splash, fantasy violence, run from the harpy, the siren, the werewolf, the lichen, dash for the silence. The way that I build up a lyric is the same way a psychic summon up a spirit, spinning out words from the letters on the Ouija board. From the demons you're reaching for, evil force, greasy hordes, speaking live from the other side. And my lips, they move with the force. There's a few points to clarify. They want me to turn to the dark side and make a deal with a life force parasite. That's a burning appetite, observing the herd from a Death Star satellite. Yo, them are serving the serpent, further the birth, our purpose is working. Under the watchful guise of the all-seeing eye, agents are lurking. Never tell me there's not a conspiracy when 5 billion are living the life hurting. You're not a friend to me, don't make me your enemy. We need the revolution, bruv, I'll be the first in. And I keep researching, 20 years leaving my cranium's bursting. You gotta put the work in, away from this message MCs are shirking. Nowadays everybody wanna chat, bruv. Nowadays everybody wanna spit. Nowadays everybody want wax. Nowadays everybody wanna mix. Nowadays everybody wanna chat, that they got a story to tell. They're like, goddamn L, shut your mouth, you got to like shout. Nobody else can chat about L and Oma Beats, and he's live on the fader. Finger, next on the levels. Right, back to the HQ, Rise Above, yeah? Shall we do it? I could go on all night, but let's not.
Let's go back to
Let's go back to, right. Oma Beats. Big up Oma Beats. And that's the Deep State tune, isn't it? So many different tunes. All right.
Fortunately, we have lost some viewers.
We've saved 41 people. We really apologise for that. Like, God knows what happened. Inner Guardians, welcome back. Word Nerd, welcome back. Welcome back.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds great. Basically, I think what happened was we have on the server that runs StreamYard, they have like an auto leveling process. Oma Beats was killing it so hard, he basically just killed all of our microphones. So when we came back on, no one could hear us. It was all distorted. So before next week, we have to work on that, because when Oma Beats drops a bomb, yeah, we need another sound technician, basically. That's how it goes. Yeah. We're always looking for new team members.
I have to make sure I come over for the next one like this.
Yeah, when Lord Schwab says we're allowed to have more people inside the house, then we'll do it.
I can do the sound engineer.
Okay, we need to get back to the slides. One sec, here. Back to the topic in hand. Stream number 20. Here we go. So we were talking about Magix's. Oh my God, that's not stream 20.
We're into maps. We're into the maps now. So this is not just from the people who we was talking about before.
Right. So I just need to share this screen. Well, let me just do a little sharey, mate. One sec.
Just before we carry on, can I?
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So for those that listen to my Inner Guardians videos, you'll notice that I say the inner landscape quite a lot. Now, this is very important that we get to find out what the inner landscape is. Now, with the Hermetic principle, as within, so without, the things that we can't establish first principles on, i.e. places like Antarctica, what we'll do is we'll invert it, because everything is within. So that's one of our principles. So to establish first principles, if you can't do it without, then you do it within. So can I just put this out there, because it's all about participation, that Antarctica, what would that be if it was part of you?
That's a deep question.
Yeah, what part of your internal working would you assimilate Antarctica to be?
Wow.
If you look at the nature of Antarctica.
So you're talking about a part of the psyche? Are you talking about a part of the physical body? What are you talking about in the Guardians?
Well, I would say in the intangible aspects of us. So I want people to sort of learn to understand. This is what the gnosis is.
Yes.
To explore. So as an example, as within, so without, as without, so within. So if Antarctica was an aspect of an intangible part of us, what part would it be?
Well, our first suggestion on the screen is from Graham B, and he says it would be our arsehole. Larry Gallus says it would be our frozen nuts. No, let's be real. Sasha English says it would be some cold ass bitch.
Yeah, but
So they're all
Going back to Graham B's answer is the asshole.
Get to Graham B.
Is that the exit? It's the crater exit?
What, the crater exit? The
Yeah.
exit to our realm? Well, that's what Godfadge thinks, isn't it?
no, I'm talking like intangible. What aspects?
okay.
I'll give you a clue. Consciousness.
I was about to say the subconscious, yeah,
Yeah, possibly.
because actually it's actually the unknown. It's the unspoken. Because we've talked about what the official history of Antarctica is. It's apparently the largest landmass there is. It's totally unexplored. You're forbidden to go there. So what is that? Isn't that not the subconscious mind?
Subconscious, yeah. And this realm, or the controllers of this realm, they really don't want us to explore the subconscious or the unconscious or the superconscious. I would say that beyond the subconscious or unconscious lies the superconscious.
Right.
Now, how would that look?
The metaconscious, yeah.
Yeah. Well, how would this look in the physical realm? What would it look like? It look like potentially Antarctica, and then what's after Antarctica? That's what's of interest.
That's the unknown, isn't it? That's beyond the subconscious. That's like the outer realms of our understanding.
Or the outer realms of the crater.
Yeah. And as Unruly King says, a meaty vag. maybe what is Antarctica? Is it the unknown part of our brain? Is it the dark matter? Is it the
Lee?
95%?
Can I Lee in the Guardians? Are you a craterist? Are you going to say you're a craterist? Do you think there's some substance to what God
sympathetic to craterism?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I'm down with the greater realm.
Yeah, but I think. I mean, I don't know the author of this model, but it seems to me that is very similar to the teachers that I have in terms of they try to provoke or point you for your self-exploration. So it's not just a case of this is how it is, A, B, and C, or 1, 2, 3. It's you need to explore. You need to find out for yourself. It's about the gnosis.
Well, this is a big part of the masonry thing, in it is know thyself.
Yeah, know thyself. Yeah. Yeah. So I wanted to bring this in because this is not necessarily about what is at Antarctica. Are there penguins? Are there this? Are there that? It could actually be a lot more significant than the physical.
So you say there's a metaphysical aspect to this question of what is Antarctica?
Yeah, there's a metaphysical question to everything, and this is the point. This is what the occultists, this is what the esoterics, this is what they do. As within, so without.
As above, so below.
Yeah,
and the first shall be last.
Yeah, so I just wanted to bring this up because it might actually open a few things. So as an example, if you want to access the subconscious, you need a portal. If you want to access the superconscious, you need a portal. And we're talking about gates and gateways and portals.
And building gates.
Yeah, building gates and symbology.
I like the way you've linked that in there because that's overlapping from last week's show about, Bill Gates isn't just some psychopathic nerd who's got into vaccines. There's obviously a lot more to the picture there. Maybe he's actually building the gates to our realm. Well, look what Godfadge says about Disney. Disney was like, Disney was like mapping out the prison, mapping out our crater realm, and then replicating it in a fantasy world that you could pay to go and visit. I think that's a very interesting concept.
You think he's got all the money in the world, Mr. Billy Boy Gates?
All of it.
You think he can go where he's got all the knowledge about everything that he can possibly want to look into? So he knows.
No, I don't think he has the knowledge.
You don't think so?
No, he's a gatekeeper.
Okay.
He's got tools and he's got money, but I don't think he has the knowledge, or else he wouldn't do what he's doing.
You don't think he's privy to the grander plan?
Well, not at soul level, no, because I don't think he has one.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Okay.
So what you're saying is he an NPC? A dark
Potentially.
NPC?
Potentially, yeah, or self-slaughtered, or compromised. It's one of three.
A compromised soul doing the bidding of the dark occultist.
Yeah, these are the worst crimes conceivable.
Big up Sanchez UK. This dude's been in my inbox a week. He's been helping me out with a couple of little investigations I've been looking into. Big up Sanchez. He says Bill Gates is a psychopathic nerd 100%. He is. Like, I think that's what Inner Guardians is saying. He is on a horizontal level. He's a nerd with a power complex, and he moves horizontally to conquer. He's not ascending. Bill Gates is not looking for any high level of understanding, is he? Let's be real.
You don't think?
I don't think so.
Would it be fair to say he self-slaughtered and now he's compromised?
Do you think he'd self-slaughtered himself? Wow.
He's all three.
Or maybe he's not looking for any knowledge, but maybe he's trying to stop others from doing so.
Well, I think that's what Inner Guardians is getting to. That's what a gatekeeper is, isn't it?
Sure.
Guarding the knowledge so that others can't pass through the gates.
He's just following orders. He's only doing his job.
Yeah, he's a gopher. Just like he's a Soros. And this is what I always say to that people say, "Oh, but is George Soros in charge? Is Bill Gates?" No, of course not. These people are the hitmen. Like what's his name? Kissinger. Right, Kissinger was known as an economic and a sort of he used war and economy as a hitman. Bill Gates is a biological hitman, in my opinion. George Soros is a media and
Agitist
and political hitman. Right, the Rothschilds are economic hitmen. None of these are actually the source of the parasitic opposing force. They're agents of it. That's what we're pointing towards, isn't it?
They're playing a role for the denying in a theatre.
They're denying in a theatre. Dope.
The theatre of the orb.
The world's a stage.
Yeah. And that's why who was the first person to get Pfizer's Christmas Miracle? William Shakespeare. Yeah?
Yes, it was.
Was it not William Shakespeare?
It was.
The creation...
Where was it?
Warwickshire? Was it... No, is it Nottingham?
No,
Nottingham.
It was a city. It was a particular city. I'm pretty sure it was him, but...
wait a minute. You're right. It was a particular city. What was the name of it? Coventry. It was.
Coventry.
Holy shit, I forgot. In Guardians, just remind me.
No way, was it Coventry?
Yeah.
Coventry.
Yep.
Oh my
Couldn't
god,
make it
that's
up.
so... No, you couldn't.
The entry of Cov into the first sentient being in the British Isles of Anglistan.
That is
was
ridiculous.
William Shakespeare. They are taking the piss out of us,
that
aren't they?
100%, mate.
The world is a stage.
The world is a stage, and dark occultists are the directors and the playwrights and the writers.
I mean, you've got to give it to him. They're ballsy. They're ballsy to do it, to put it out in the open that much. They obviously to do that. They obviously know that no one could do anything about it, even if we all know about it. It's
we've already discussed that it's part of to put it in plain sight. Is not only their,
of course, but this
is
more than putting it in plain sight. You haven't even got to think.
Let's rewind. There's 3 steps to this. We've talked about free will and why they tell us they're doing it, and we believe, as Inner Guardians does, it's their way of sidestepping natural law,
which won't work
by telling us that they're going to do it. If we allow it, we're acquiescing. But it's like now there's also a level of putting it in your face so much that it's mockery, which also sort of ticks another box in the dark occultist toolbook.
But normally with that, there is a degree of you do have to think and you do have to decipher a little bit. But that, I mean, William Shakespeare in Coventry for the first time. I mean, that is literally like you don't even have to do anything but listen to it. It's there right out in the open, like way more than it normally has been, in my opinion.
Yeah, let me just say
that increasing year on year. Sorry, Lee.
Yeah, in the world of the occultists, it's all about signs and symbols. So the denying force, or the agents of the denying force, in a way, they're kind of on our side in terms of they're trying to tell us.
Right.
They're leaving breadcrumbs. They're leaving.
Do you think that's what they believe, Lee? Do you think that they believe that they're actually doing this to help us?
Partially, yes.
Because the reason I'm asking you this is I've read an article which is from about 10 years old, and Magix, you showed me this and I showed it to you. We know about this article. It's called An Interview with an Agent of the Hidden Hand. And whether this interview that's transcribed is real or not, in my opinion, is quite irrelevant. A bit like the Protocols of the Elders of Zion. Whether it's a forgery or not, it's kind of irrelevant because it's true. What it says in this article or this interview, where they're interviewing a high-level bloodline adept of one of these literal families, they said that they believe that their mind-body-soul complex that goes through their bloodline is Luciferian, the Lightbringer. But they believe that although they are agents of the negative harvest, and in the Guardians you talk about the soul harvest, they say that they are actually providing a catalyst for the soul evolution of this grand farm, which is our realm, because they believe that it's a soul farm where they can either positively or negatively harvest souls. But in this interview, this person who claimed to be the highest level of one of these bloodline adept families said that what we're doing on Earth when we provide this negative, opposing, denying force is we're actually providing humans as evolutionary beings a catalyst to move forward. Does this resonate with you, Inner Guardians?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We tend to use the word escape velocity. So with the law of three, with the positive, negative, and the neutral, that's we can't escape that. So remember, I'm always saying you can't deny the denying force. It's a part of our reality. It's not going to go away. What you have to do is you have to learn to use it as friction. So when I watch mainstream media, I don't watch it to believe it. I watch it because it actually gives me friction. It gives me fire. It helps me ascend. And this is where I mentioned a few weeks ago that some deep occultists will go into the belly of the beast for this reason. But it's kind of treacherous. It's kind of dangerous ground to do that.
When you say go
we'll do it on a day-to-day
belly of
basis.
the beast, what does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, that would mean going right into the denying force. Like, for instance, myself, I would say I'm a sort of moderate occultist. So I will use whatever denying force comes to me on a day-to-day basis. What a deep occultist will try and do or simulate will go in. They'll go deeper into the denying force. They'll go seeking the denying force. They'll evoke the denying force. I don't do that.
Wow. That's
Okay,
deep.
right. I have to stop because
Invoke the denying force.
Right, we've talked about the Law of One before and the channelings of Ra. Myself and Mrs. Rise Above the other night were actually re-watching the channelings of Ra and the Law of One. And in a nutshell, it's channeled from a higher fifth entity being. And what they actually said is the dark occultist, I think this is point 60 or 70 in the interviews, they said the dark occultist on this planet, which they describe as the force of Orion, what they're doing is actually harvesting the negative energy, our Lush, to feed entities in the lower fourth dimensional realm, which usually has a master-slave relationship from the fourth density realm down to us. But what it actually said in this channeling is that some of the dark occultists in this realm have become so efficient in feeding these parasitic forces, which are non-physical, that they've actually enslaved them. And now they do their bidding.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this in the Guardians?
Yeah.
Because with me, what this sounds like is the highest level of the cabal on this planet. If what we know about this adrenochrome harvesting, right, and these deep underground military bases where they're literally harvesting the negative energy,
Like they've gone too far.
Well, this is what I said to Mrs. Rise Above. Who is consuming all that? Because we're talking about a group of bloodline elitists, which are literally a couple of thousand in number.
Yeah.
And if it's true that they have these huge underground installations, they're literally harvesting the essence, right? Who's consuming that?
Huge amount, yeah.
So maybe they're actually producing this huge deficit because they've actually, by means of in capturing them like junkies, they've enslaved non-physical entities. This is what the Ra channels, mate. When we watched this the other night. We both looked around each other. We were like, "Holy shit!" That would totally explain why
They're
in
addicted
antiquity,
to our realm.
back in antiquity, you build an altar, you'd have a queue of slaves, and you'd sacrifice them, and that'd be just enough for the sun god. You didn't need a massive underground base to do it on an industrial scale. Why would you need to do that?
Warfare is about warfare.
Yes.
It's a mass sacrifice. Are you aware that Rise Above is Ra?
Of course.
All right.
Yeah. That's why I chose it. Don't listen. Don't anyone underestimate when I designed this. I put maximum level of sigil magic into this. I understand mimetic sorcery, as you do in the Guardians. And someone has already called me out online saying, "Why are you using the Rising Sun logo that the Japanese Empire used at the?" I said because I understand what it means. I understand intent. I've reappropriated this logo, haven't we? We've reappropriated this logo
Means to rise again.
to rise above, to rise again, to rise above the carcinogenic.
It's the new world order.
Yeah, we're combating that shit. We reinterpret and we use it against
Well,
them.
there's two new world orders. There's a positive and a negative.
Exactly.
So we're you know.
And they're both going to happen. It just you've got to choose which one you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Choose your side. Where's the line in the sand?
Well, I know you've drawn your line. We drew our line, and I'm sure everyone that's watching has probably already drew a line, and that's why you're still tuned in, because we've still got a hardcore 80 people. We might have lost the other 30 that pegged off when we had the denying force. Yeah, but it's rise above. So we've been super esoteric when we talk about Antarctica tonight.
Should we get back to that?
Well, we've still got more slides. Go on then. Let's get Magic's map back up, because we're not even finished with the slides. You need to press the share button over there, baby. Yeah, well, with so many problems, how could we possibly finish by 12 tonight? So, Magic's, let's have you back in, mate, and have your input into this ludicrous amount of whole rabbit dissection.
So we need to go to number 19.
Number 19. We're on number 19 right now. You are 30 seconds behind us. This is called the Boucher map.
So do you want to read that?
So the French geographer Boucher was trained under the geographer Guillaume Delille. Boucher was nominated first geographer of the king in 1729. He established the division of the world by seas and river systems. He believed in the southern continent, an hypothesis which confirmed by later discoveries in 1754. He published an Atlas Physique. His nephew, Jean-Nicolas Boucher, was also a geographer of the king. So, 1753, that's 100 years before this like magic 1850 date, which we keep coming back to when we're talking about resets.
So this
Not much happened before that.
Well, everything that happened before that is super weird, isn't it?
Super weird.
This map's controversial because it shows Antarctica without ice.
Right. Well, that's very important to point out. So as little as less than 300 years ago, we've got Antarctica without ice.
Both the maps have got the dates on them. I drew them on. So
well, how does that fit in with any geographical understanding of ice ages? Because my understanding of official history is the ice age finished Homer Beats. How long ago?
A long time ago. A few thousand years ago.
Well, in between 9 and 11,000 years ago, officially. So how have we got a map here from 300 years ago that shows Antarctica with no ice? That's an anomaly, right?
Yeah. This is a bit of an anonymous map.
And Boucher he was a highly accredited cartographer. He was the official cartographer of the king. Right, next one, 1500s. You'll see this in about 20 seconds. We're a little bit ahead of you, Magix.
No, I'm seeing it at the same time as you.
Number 20, Urbano Monte planisphere was centuries ahead of its time. So this is like a rectangle map, which if you look at the sort of squarey lines at the bottom and the top, it looks like you could spread it around a globe.
Well, yeah, it's a globe map.
It's a globe map, isn't it? Is this one of the first globe maps?
Yeah, one of them.
And how is Antarctica explained here? It looks half green.
If you read that paragraph.
So, Urbano Montano planisphere was centuries ahead of its time. A man who granted knowledge to the Jesuit libraries to create this map that includes many locations not shown in maps of its time. Mysterious Japanese locations being prominent. A huge landmass at the south showing a mixture of modern-day Australia, New Zealand, and Antarctica. Wow. Well, we can recognize... No, go back, baby. We can recognize... That's 20. We can recognize like the northern land masses in there, but there's nothing there's nothing sort of you can recognize about the bottom. That looks like a whole arc of land that fluctuates in between sort of green pastures to Arctic tundra, rivers going through it.
But
You've got
again,
the red section attached to the Southern America.
What does the red section notate?
That's Terra Australis or Terra El Fuego. It's also
That's supposed to be Australia, the red bit in the middle.
No, that's directly below South America. So that's the Falkland Islands in the middle.
I mean,
and then crossing
you've got
between the two.
You've got to think about it. This map has been put out. this map has been produced by the Jesuits from someone's knowledge, yeah?
Yeah.
So is this the original map that was given to the Jesuits, or what the Jesuits put out after the original map was given
Let's
to them?
insert a bit of Vag. Unruly King KY89 says the Vag said that they changed the dates in history and they reset us by 400 years. So if this is 1500, by the Vag timeline, this would actually be 1900. So 50 years
Sure.
after what John Levy says is the last time they might have reset history in the 1850s.
A proper reset.
Well, a proper reset, but like maybe not a flood. There's so many questions. Like,
But the
If
mud
you-
flood.
If you also notice his map in the bottom left and center, he shows the North Pole with the 4 islands.
yeah, and that's something that's very common in old maps. The North Pole has no ice, and it's 4 islands with 4 intersecting rivers and like a central point.
Yeah, exactly that. When you add his
Sorry.
map together.
Maybe it changes with the general consensus.
Well, that's an interesting point. What you're saying, it doesn't change with actual physical changes; it just changes with the consensus.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, they could all be right throughout history. Maybe the realm that we live on changes.
Well, I mean, let's face it. Even in official recorded history, that would be the case. But over a period of tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years, rather than the period of hundreds of years, which is what we're talking about here, right?
Well, yes and no. I mean, reality can actually change quite quickly. I mean, look at 2020. Does reality change much?
I would say reality is pretty much inverted, hasn't it? It's pretty much done a 180-degree turn.
Yeah, within 12 months.
But not
What was
geographically.
normal? I mean, imagine wearing a mask to a bank in 2019.
Imagine being allowed into a petrol station covering your face in 2019, let alone a bank in the Guardians, a corner shop. You walk into anywhere.
You'll have
covering your
armed police. Come
Now they
on.
call armed police if you're not
Yeah,
covering your face.
Yeah.
Imagine that, the police stopping you, telling you, to cover your face, so we
Yeah.
can't identify you.
Well, your
2019.
teacher. Yeah, 2019. But your teacher, you were saying to me at the start of this, is like, we're being asked to wear a mask, we're being asked to stay 2 meters away from everyone, but that can be used to our advantage, right? Because if you need to hide yourself, if you need to make yourself invisible, well, now you have the perfect opportunity.
Well, this is what I was trying to say earlier, that there's almost the denying force offers the perfect opportunities. It's like a gift that keeps on giving. In some ways, if you know how to use it, and this is the problem. If you don't know how to use it, you're going to get stuck and caught up in it all. I mean, there's an interesting quote which I'll say, and it's, "Do not radiate energy at the same frequency as the illness." And this was written by an esoteric person. And,
Recently?
No, this was pre
BC, before COVID.
Yeah. yeah, it's a long time before then.
To quote Lord Schwab, that is apparently a thing now. In the Guardians, can you believe that is actually a real quote from the architect of the Great Reset, that he wants to actually start time at the year 0 in 2020? Have you heard of this?
Yeah, I did hear that actually.
Imagine the audacity of someone who is simply a member of a think tank, because that's what the WF is.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah.
Right? You are the member of a think tank. You are the self-appointed minister and arbiter of that think tank.
All they do
what
is
is corona-
essentially
right,
just stir the pot.
In official history,
That's it,
what
that's
has coronavirus or COVID actually got to do with Lord Schwab? Who is he to say, I declare that we will start a new time when COVID starts, we'll start the year 0, before COVID is BC, après COVID is AC, whatever. Who the fuck is he to say, does he think he's Jesus Christ? Does he think he's the Buddha?
Precisely. They think they're gods on earth.
Right, because listen, everyone in the comment section, what are we
They
talking
want
about
to
here? We're
be
talking about
God.
history
Yeah.
resets, right? What happened apparently when we look at John Levy, when we look at the work of Godvaj and a couple of others, they're talking about this missing 400 years, right? John Levy talks about 1850. Godvaj thinks that this 400 missing years either happened in the year 800
And Thailand's
or the
current year is what, Lance?
yeah, right. This is where I'm going to. Apparently, according to these alternative thinkers that we're quite into, we have stolen 400 years. We're actually 400 years behind the official timeline, because what he says is the Vatican pirates.
Sorry, so we haven't stolen it, because that would mean we'd
No,
be
we
400
restarted it.
years ahead.
We stole it.
Gave it away.
No, we stole an extra 400 years. We went back in time and started again. So this is the reason, right? Does anybody know what the year is in Thailand, in Laos, and in other predominantly Buddhist countries? Does anybody know in the comment section? Buffton? I'll give you I don't know the exact number, but I'll give you a clue. It's roughly 400 years ahead of us. I believe the last time I checked in Thailand, the year is 2,450. That would mean it's only 30 years out of Godvadge's estimate that the Western Vatican Vikings stole 400 years out of history and reset it. So what are the countries that are still about? What year? 540 years ahead. Yeah, so in Thailand, they are 540 years ahead, right? And they believe that the reason for this is they start their year zero at the birth of Buddha, right? And for anyone that studied the Buddha mythology and the Jesus mythology and the alternative views of that, everyone knows that there is a link and there is a possible thesis that Buddha and Jesus is actually an archetypal character, a yogic traveling seer. Has anyone heard of this? Inner Guardians, you heard of this theory?
Yeah.
Yeah. So imagine if this theory is true, that 400 years roughly was stolen by these Vatican Ashkenazi Vikings or whoever they are, and they rewrote the history books and they put us back 400 years, but they only did it in the countries that they conquered. Would that not kind of make sense? The countries like Thailand, a 100% sovereign nation that's never been invaded, is roughly...
It would also create debt psychically as well.
Psychic debt? What do you mean by that?
Borrowed time.
Wow.
So, sorry, can you just
please expand on that. Expand.
Lee?
Well,
my mind didn't compute that then.
Well, for instance, time. You can borrow time or you can't borrow time. Depends which perspective you look at. But you can actually be in debt for time, and the game is based on time in this realm. So them playing around with timelines could actually make...
They're buying themselves an extra 400 years to do what they want.
Yeah, it's credit.
Yeah, okay.
We live in a credit system, debt credit system. It's
well,
all connected.
if you wanted to rewrite history and insert yourselves into positions of power, predating that,
yeah,
it would make sense that you might need to create an extra period of history in order to insert yourselves into.
Well, if there's been multiple resets, then maybe there's been a few exchanges already.
Yeah, I think we're all leaning towards the idea that this has happened many more times than one. Like in The Guardian says, maybe cyclical. Round and round we go. We get to a certain point, restart, around again. Interesting.
And that's what the clocks are about that we featured on a few shows ago.
The reset clocks.
That John Levy featured.
Digital time, 24 hours, 12 hours. It's everywhere.
And that's all from the Gregorian calendar.
Well, I said weeks ago, we're literally drowning in everything. Psyops, the occult, dark occult, light occult, every type of theory. We're literally drowning in it. This is like a soup of information or data that we have to navigate and figure out.
And that's probably part of the reason why we try and limit the show to 4 or 5 hours every week, and we always run over, because it is a never-ending platter when you're trying to unfold all this stuff. The producer's saying we need to move on because we're tangenting too much. I thought that was the point of the show, but sorry. I'm joking. Right, next slide. Next map. We're moving on to, what year is this? We're moving on to 1600s. Petrus Bataeus P. Bertae Taberulum Graphicut. Okay, that's a lot of Latin, which I'm going to butcher. He was Petrus Bertaeus P. Bertae was the #1 geographical badman of Amsterdam in 1616. He created this map on the top right here, which shows, is this Terra Australis? So that's the first map of Australia, I guess.
No, that's Antarctica, or they didn't really know.
Yeah, because that's what they originally called it, Australis.
So that's actually showing the limits and the boundaries of Antarctica as a continent.
That's
Is that the
South
first
Pole.
representation? Because all the other maps you showed before this, it was a sausage.
This is one of the earlier representations of it.
Okay. So Joseph Hall, Mavendeus, Alte, and Umdi. Mate, why have you typed out this Latin like I can read it? Inde Sule Terra Austeris Ante. This doesn't mean anything. That's the name of this map from 1607. It's a controversial bishop of Frankfurt who made this map. He looks exactly like Jacob Frank. He looks just like Shabbatai Zevi, this guy. Let me zoom in on this guy here.
Well, maybe
These
he's
are-
related to Manly P. Hall. Maybe.
Yeah, he looks exactly like Manly P. Hall, Albert Pike. I bet he's got his other hand hidden in his crotch. These hidden hand guys, they love to hide the
One hand. Yeah.
yeah, they love to hide the one hand.
The thing to the right is a memorial on a church to him as well.
Over here.
To the
Oh,
right.
sorry. Shit. Sorry, my right and left is not so good when I'm trying. Oh, this memorial here. Oh, Skull and Bones.
Well,
Skull and
it's on-
Bones.
It's on a church to him somewhere.
This one
Yeah.
here. Wow. That's super esoteric. You've got the twin pillars, and you've got like the skeletal man, the Arch of the Sun. You've sort of
Bishop
got some sort of like pineal acorn thing on top of there, some fleur de lis.
Bishop
Pedophile swells at the bottom.
Oh yeah. Oh, it does. Yeah, and Beats, it does look like a giant penis. Absolutely right. So these are the guys that have told us everything that we know about what the shape of the realm is. Magix, you've really gone to fucking work here, mate. Right, next slide. So the Rumold Mercator map of 1580, and this shows the world in two different spheres. Magix, what is going on here? 1531, Orance, Fine, or Fine. This is totally different again.
So on the right hand side, you've got Antarctica or
Well,
Australia.
Terra Australis Re, as it's called.
So
Mate,
another
this is showing that Antarctica is the same size as the rest of the Earth. It's the same. Well, what are you saying, Ovi?
That would actually back up the greater Earth, the bigger Earth theory as well. It's like two. If you imagine a sphere which has been split into half, if you imagine a sphere which was split into half, I mean that's equal size to what is now like Europe, I think, really, and probably a bit more.
If that's true, it's saying that Antarctica is the same as size as the rest of the world put together.
But also, they're missing Australia from there, so that's just the land to the south.
Are we fair to conclude that each of these maps is utterly different? So
Yeah.
they're totally different.
But at the same
Or-
time, they're pretty
Or is
similar.
this New Zealand and this is Australia here?
That looks
New
like
Zealand and Australia.
Africa there. 'Cause if
And
you-
none of these are official flat Earth maps now. These are all
This is a globe map,
post-Gregorian maps.
and above that,
Right,
you've
yeah,
got two
yeah.
more maps as well.
Rumold Mercator map 1580.
You need to go up
Right.
on that slide.
Up on the slide. Okay, one sec. Oh yeah, we've got more up here. Look at this. Okay. Oh shit. Sorry, I'm still getting to grips with this PowerPoint. So that's a bit different. America Cive Innovate Orbis.
You've gone right back a load of slides.
Oh mate, I have, haven't I? Sorry. What number slide am I on? 22.
This one. So you got the two at the top.
Oh
These are-
right. Okay. So these are all double maps.
So these are globe maps that you could wrap around the globe.
So we could argue that these are actually presenting both sides of a globe, and that's why it's presented like that.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we've seen it in the mid to late 1500s.
Yeah, you've got an unknown one on the left showing a huge.
A massive ice thing at the bottom.
But again, they're missing Australia, so they've sort of combined Australia and Antarctica together.
Doesn't seem to be any consensus about what's going on here, does there? Right,
And then you
new
come
slide.
to Admiral Byrd's time.
So these maps, what we're showing right here, this is Admiral Byrd's maps, right?
These are more modern maps, yeah. The second one's the official map from his second expedition. And the yellow is the ground that he covered. like the darker yellow to the left.
Oh, this bit here. Oh, the
Yeah.
darker yellow here. That's what he covered. So he covered actually a tiny part of Antarctica here. This dark yellow bit here.
The area called the Ross.
That's
ice
nothing.
shelf called Rockefeller Plateau.
The Rockefeller Plateau. Is that next to New Schwabia?
New Schwabia is on the west.
No, there's Rockefeller Plateau, Rothschild Island, and a whole peninsula called Lord Schwabland. New Schwabia. You couldn't make it up, could you? It's like Rothschild, Rockefeller, and Schwab.
New Schwabia.
Jesus Christ, Michael. So Mary Bird Land, Ellsworth Land, Wicks Land, Roosevelt Sea. So these are all the first people that settled there. So put a flag there. This is my bit of Antarctica. No one else can go there.
Yeah.
Stay away, peasants, basically. What do you make of these maps, Inner Guardians, as we're getting nearer up to present day, where they seem to be getting zoomed in, less detailed, and actually showing less and less as we're progressing more towards present day? It's like a transgression, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they're definitely hiding information. Now, people might say, why would they lie, or how could they lie about something so great? I mean, look at this week or last year. I mean, what is the truth? Where do we start in terms of establishing first principles with the information that we're given? Why would they suddenly tell us why would they lie about everything, then suddenly tell us the truth about something else? That's the question.
That's first principles. We can apply that to everything. The media lied about X, Y, Z, 9/11, weapons of mass destruction, X, Y, Z. How the hell could we possibly trust them to tell the truth about coronavirus? But lo and behold, most people trust them.
Yeah, well, you could say the same with Antarctica. How are we to trust the information that we're given about a continent?
Well, that's why we're doing the show, and that's why we're asking these questions. And I hope everyone noticed we're not like saying this. We're not telling you anything. We're asking questions tonight because we honestly don't know.
Well, no one knows.
None of us here knows. How could any of us here pretend to know?
Huge landmass. Nobody knows anything about. Really.
If anyone here was on the show tonight was expecting to get literally red pilled or truth bombed, I'm sorry to disappoint you. We are asking questions. We want to find out because no one knows.
This is the perfect example of something that is devoid of first principles, because unless you've been there, unless you've walked around the perimeter or transnavigated across the center or whatever, flown across it, how are you going to know?
Well, just look at the maps that we showed so far. Just the ratio and the size of it, the differential between the different maps is huge. This map makes it look like a small island, roughly the size of Australia. Some of the other maps we showed was a long sausage right at the bottom of the Earth. An earlier map was like it was over half of the Earth.
Yeah, it was huge mass.
Well, Godvaj in his video showed that like what 2/3 of the crater is Antarctica, and it does. This does look like it does sort of match the crater Earth. This one here. Have we got another map here, Magix? Is there another one after this?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, next map. He's like, yeah, I've got more.
So
Right, we'll go down and say, oh, okay, mystery maps. Okay, so we've got Admiral Byrd. Oh, right, down here. Right, let's zoom in. Wait, look at this.
So this is around the time when this sort of theory come around, the Agartha theory, the inner Earth, the whole, and that's a map.
There we go. So this is actually is this a flat Earth map? It's not, is it? What is this map?
This is an internal Earth.
This is the map of the inside Earth,
Inner
the inner
Earth.
Earth. But that looks like the continent of Antarctica. The shape of Agartha, is it just me? Does that look like Antarctica?
Flip it around.
It does. That's what Godvaj does. He flips it around. Well, wait a minute.
We can
This is
definitely see gates or portals.
Yeah, like a North Pole and a South Pole.
Yeah. So
Which one's controlled by Bill?
So, for instance, I never try and avoid any particular information. There's truth hidden in every bit of information. Even the stuff that NASA puts out about going to the moon and to Mars, there is actually some truth in it.
So something can be gleaned from every source of information, no matter how establishment it might be.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? You can
Yeah,
actually glean. Yeah. Well, I've heard
It's-
you say that before. Like, you know, you can watch Elon Musk or Bill Gates speech, and you can get information from it.
Yeah, you just need discernment. You need to be able to decipher what they're saying and what is useful and what is, you know, like a Pied Piper trying to lead you away.
Well, that's the difference, isn't it? Discernment, discrimination, and judgment. That's how we decide what is authentic and what is false. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Do you remember once when we started out the stream and we were just like talking about stuff, and you whipped up Wikipedia on a subject?
Yeah.
And someone in the comment section.
Oh God, they slated us. Yeah.
It's like, this is earlier. It's like, because you were new to the stream, and they go, Double L, you need to get rid of Andy PG. He references Wikipedia, and I was like, wait a minute. What would be the reason we would reference Wikipedia? The reason you would look at the official consensus view of something
That's the mainstream
is to
narrative.
see what the consensus view of something is. It doesn't mean that we're going to take that as fact. And that's the thing. When you do source analysis, you have to take all of the sources.
Don't forget, what's on Wikipedia is what everyone's been indoctrinated with at school.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
but it's
That's
a
like the-
constantly
you know-
evolving. It's almost like a liquid narrative Wikipedia, because it could be edited in real time.
Yeah, all the time they're taking stuff out and adding it.
Yeah, and
Really
there's
hear that.
misinformation there. Sorry, what was that word, nerd?
I was just really feeling what Lee was saying, because nowadays, especially, no one goes and takes what I would now say, because of the first principles. Like with Putin, everyone's got an opinion on him, but even to get close to it, you have to go and like do the hard work and go and watch the interview, listen to a man speak, whoever it is, to begin to get any kind of discernment. And that's really rare these days.
Yeah, and that's
For
hard work.
myself included.
You've got to put the time in yourself rather than have.
You have to have true care.
Yeah, you have to have true care. You have to, rather than have the opinion handed to you on a plate, you actually have to do the work yourself, which is unfortunately the due diligence which most people will never accomplish.
And unfortunately, with
Right.
the further we go technologically, the lazier people are getting to think for themselves
Of
and to
course.
actually do physical work. Like that, you know, that's the quickest thing. Just quickly Google it or go to Wikipedia, see what it says, and then they'll just take it
There's
face.
There's a saying
Face
in
value.
occult circles, and that there's no credit in gnosis.
Because you already know it.
Well,
The
you
credit-
have to find. Yeah, there's no credit. Nobody can give it to you like for free. Yeah, there's no loan. You can't be nobody can lend you the gnosis.
Yeah, it can only be achieved through labor.
Gain it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
through conscious labor.
Yeah, you can read the knowledge. Doesn't mean you understand it. You can
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's all around us. We're you know, I say we're drowning in this and the other. We're actually surrounded with all the knowledge. We actually contain all the knowledge. Personally, I think we already know. It's a case of remembering.
Or accessing, maybe, like the Akashic records. Is that what you're talking about? Me and Omar Beats were talking about this the other day when I was actually editing one of my lyrics. And we're talking about how the high level, Michael drop, talk about how the high level adepts throughout the years, your Leonardo da Vinci's, your Sir Francis Bacon's, these kind of people, your John Dee's, Einstein, they actually, if you actually look into these people's personal diaries, their journals, their records, when they were coming up with their pivotal theories, whether it's the theory of gravity or whatever it was for John Dee, etc., etc. If you look into what they said, I'm paraphrasing, 9 times out of 10, they didn't learn that through a long series of hard labor and knowing. They actually sort of believe that they tapped into something, maybe in a transcendental state,
A download.
meditation, a download. Go on, Omar Beats.
Well, it was when they were sleeping. You know, Einstein said that. Einstein said that. Got to kiss the mic. Yeah, well, he said that most of his stuff come out from when he was asleep or was in a meditative state as well. And they all have pretty much, I think, all of the genius level people, when they've come out of their key formulas, they've been in a dream state, whether it's a sleeping thing or meditation based, you know.
And what are they accessing?
Well,
The collective memory of everything that's been and has and will be, you know. There's the Akashic record is a whole nother subject. Well, it's got all different. I'm not too sure who coined it that term, but there's lots of different terms for it. that it depends on who's explaining their belief in it. But basically, it's the uni mind of everything alive and living. The vibrational frequency is stored throughout time and existence, and to access that would give you the ultimate knowledge and probably very big peace of mind as well, because you would know, and you become very powerful with that as well. If you can access that free willingly, then
Could that be the subconscious?
It's like you've got jump packs and everything you want to learn about, much like the Matrix, if you think about it like that.
Well, Inner Guardians is saying, could this be the subconscious? Because I think what we're saying is, I think it was Edgar Casey that called it the Akashic Records, and don't quote me, in different esoteric circles, it's been called like the library of all knowledge. Is the collective consciousness is like a metaphysical library which apparently these high-level adepts can access. But what you're saying is, Inner Guardian, is it something as fundamental as actually just our subconscious? Because let's face it, if we have this this inherent hive mind, which we've been cut up from the source, and our subconscious.
It's not just humans. We should be able to do the telepathy thing and all that sort of stuff. But the hive mind is everything alive. So
okay, check it out. I've got a good analogy to this. So a squirrel, right? A squirrel will forage for its food. It will know whether a plant or anything like that is poisonous for it. It just knows. It knows not to eat it. Right?
Sure, yeah.
What we should have that. We have got that inside us, but whatever
that's
that
like
is,
instinct. That's like instinct,
Yeah,
and we
but
do have that when when you're scared or things, especially when you're
we've
scared.
got certain aspects of it, but the majority of our organic instinct has been blocked, and it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Well, yeah, because we've had our responsibilities taken away from us. We no longer have to find our food. We can go to Tesco's.
That's it.
So that's a big deal.
We don't have to know. Like
we're creature.
But this is personal protection.
That's correct.
Yes,
that's exactly what it is.
Protection. Yeah, a squirrel not eating a poisonous mushroom is personal protection. There's no difference.
How does the squirrel know, Lee? How does the squirrel know? It don't do trial and error, does it? Because if through error the squirrel will die.
Yeah, it's got gnosis. There's certain things that we have already. I would suggest that it's in the direction of the subconscious or the unconscious, which links to the superconscious, which links to the Akashic records.
So now, maybe that's what the Akashic records is, the superconscious.
Potentially, yeah. But what you got to factor in is that every single possibility of a reality has already taken place. So you've got like tracks of different timelines of potentiality.
Oh, we're going deep now.
Yeah, quantum.
Someone on this, Neil Sun says the morphic resonance. And let me just interject, through my understanding, dark occultists above the level of ideological Satanists that actually believe they're invoking, they talk about the morphic field. Aleister Crowley talked about the morphic field. And Aleister Crowley was a practitioner and adept. I'm not going to call him a Satanist, but he was invoking through different workings. He invoked with Jack Parsons. Anyone can look this up. He believed he was invoking the beast. All right. What is your understanding of this, Inner Guardians?
Well, there's different realms. There's different spaces for different types of entities, which can actually be evoked. You can actually create them. I with my students, I often suggest this type of thing, which is based on thought forms or mind sciences, where you can actually develop your own set of guardians or watchdogs that look out for you. Yeah,
you're talking about creating a golem, like a psychic golem.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, it's down to interpretation, but I kind of word it differently. Excuse me, I word it differently. I call them watchdogs on a psychic level, or thought forms. Remember, they're being used against us all the time.
So you're talking about invoking them to use them for your own advantage?
Yeah, guardians. Yeah, protectors.
Could this be?
That's why it's plural.
Could
Some
this
people
be
ask me why it's not
construed?
inner guardian. It's inner guardians because I'm actually talking about the plural.
That's amazing. Right, I'm going to ask you quite a direct question, because I know some of our viewers are of different religious persuasions.
Yeah.
Could this be construed as like grey magic? So what I'm talking about is from the point of view as a Christian. is proper blasphemy, isn't it? To talk about this stuff.
No.
Okay.
If I say angels, archangels, what's the difference?
Well, here's what I would say, and I would say that people that I know that which believe they're on the righteous path and subscribe to Christianity, they would say invoking the power of anything apart from Jesus Christ is satanic. How do you interpret that? I'm certainly not saying I agree with that, but that's something that I've heard a lot in circles of truth seekers. Is when you talk about the esoteric, when you talk about the occult, about manifestations, what you're actually playing with is black magic, and anything like that is the dark path. How do you counteract that argument?
Well, I would say that it's down to interpretation for the most part, but you got to get the first principles. First principles, is it service to self or self and others? If it was service to self, this is what the dark occultists would do. They'll create entities and demons so that they can get their will done. Whereas a light occultist would pray or ask. I mean, evoke probably isn't the right word. It's probably not a good word because it's got connotations. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Who you ask, as in, does it have to be Jesus? Does it have to be Krishna? So on and so forth. I mean, that's very subjective. We're talking about archetypals.
Yeah. We've got a comment on the screen from one of our regular contributors, Larry Gallus, and I know who this guy is, and I know you do as well in the Guardians. You know about Rudolf Steiner?
Yeah.
Rudolf Steiner.
I studied in one of his schools once.
Well,
not
let me hand it over to you then, mate.
Steiner, but no, we hired one of his centers. Excuse me. So I got to learn a little bit about the Steiner schools. It's very interesting. With regards to, there's nothing symmetrical. They don't like straight lines. Everything's like circular. Everything's odd shaped. So even the windows were a bit skew-if on purpose, because it's all about the right side of the brain and being creative.
That's right.
And for anyone that doesn't know, Rudolf Steiner, that's been shared around a lot on Facebook, he made this really famous quote. It's more like a paragraph, but it's basically along the lines of, like, in the future, the dark forces will develop a medicine or a vaccine which will be administered to people, which will basically purge them of the ability to be spiritual and to connect to the divine source. Are you familiar with it? Is anyone else familiar with this quote? Because I don't know it. I'm only talking about it. Well, Rudolf Steiner, how old is Rudolf Steiner? From the late 19th century, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was talking about a future. Are you familiar with this quote that I'm talking about?
No, not directly, but I understand the gist of a lot of what he said. That
because he said a lot. This guy's very well versed, and he's very well documented. He said a lot of things, and like Aldous Huxley, like George Orwell. Were these people prophetic, or were they adepts? Were they initiated into an understanding of what is to come? Because you can look back at what they said, and it's super prophetic. For anyone that doesn't know Rudolf Steiner, big up Larry Gallus. Thank you for bringing it up. He said some things that are very pertinent to what's going on now.
Yeah.
What else did you learn about it? What else did you learn about him that can relate to right now in the Guardians?
Well, he was very much against conventional education for children, and he developed his own schools where children were encouraged to be creative. Hence, they avoided certain geometry, which is quite interesting in itself.
Which type of geometry? Because Godvaj talks about that. I don't know if you know, in the Godvaj videos, he talks about two different systems. Andy, PG?
Well, he talks about two energetic systems, isn't he? And one, and they're two geometry. They're two different sets of geometry.
Numerological systems.
Yeah.
Right?
So basically, what is it? The 2, 4, 6, 8.
Well, it's the opposite to the 3, 6, 9. What some people call the Tesla numbers, and this is a big paradox, because we've had people on the show in the comment section talk about the positive vibration of the 369 and the Tesla numbers, and we googled it.
Godvaj does say in one of his videos, he says
so
the
the
Kundalini energy is actually the apep, the negative energy,
and the apep is the movement of the sun across the sky.
yeah.
let's sum it down. This Volkswagen symbol, this geometric Freemasonic symbol, the Solomon star, that represents the 3, the 6, and the 9. But what Godvaj says is there is the other geometry, which is actually organic and not transplanted, which is the 1, 2, 4, 5,
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this what you're talking about? 2 different systems of geometry?
I couldn't go into detail with regards to what Steiner actually taught, but I know that he was dead against the system of education at the time. So he developed his own curriculum for children because he believed that as children they needed to be unprogrammed and given correct education as opposed to the program.
Creative nourishment.
We've got a comment on the screen from someone I've never seen before called Moko Eisney. Big up Moko. Welcome to Rise Above. He says Steiner schools in the UK have been destroyed.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
There
true.
was
Yeah.
There's
Expand.
one near my house, and actually it's funny that this has come up. Oh, it's not so funny actually, but I drive past where a Steiner school used to be, and it's no longer there. And it did cross my mind literally 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
They
That's
are,
very
they are
specific.
targeted. We've got
Yeah.
a few Steiner schools down here in the West Country, and it
Oh,
ends
wow.
up being, because of the politics down here, it ends up being a lot of the people I know, a lot of the hippies that live in the woods and want to raise their children differently, end up sending them to a Steiner school.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It's not layered at all, so you don't get any of the indoctrination with regiment and regime. The kids are allowed to plan their own lessons a lot. They're allowed breaks. They're allowed to go and study what they want. There's a certain amount, I believe, I'm not an expert on it, there's a certain amount that's in the curriculum, as Lee was saying, but otherwise it's very, very free. And I've met some
Right
people
brain.
that have then come out of that system. Yeah, and it's amazing. It's almost a totally different mindset when you meet those people. It's definitely something to it. Huge benefit if done the right way. Yeah.
So wait a minute. What age are these Steiner schools? Are these like sort of?
You can do it instead of primary school. So I believe they can get in quite young. Lee, correct me if I'm wrong. I think it starts at the age you would normally start a primary school. You can get some preschool,
4 to 5.
and then anything up until 16 and up. I think when you would leave.
Yeah.
I think, or maybe is that right, Lee? That's the
Yeah,
people
well,
I knew
I
anyway.
stayed in a Steiner center, which had a school attached to it. We basically rented it from them, not as Steiner students, but we just rented the facility. But it was very fascinating because for a couple of weeks we weren't surrounded. Well, we were surrounded with different types of geometry, which affects the psyche. So, as an example, the windows were particular shapes, the doors were particular shapes, the rooms weren't square. They were kind of like, they'd have like a round wall, a shorter wall than the other wall, and the roof would be sloping. It's-
Non-symmetrical.
Yeah,
yeah.
In
It's very,
total contrast from the classrooms we've seen for hundreds of years, which haven't changed, which are all perfectly symmetrical, desks all square, rectangular shapes all laid out.
yeah, and it affects the psyche.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. It must do. Yeah. Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Look
I had
at
a
the
little bit of
comment
experience
we
with that with this one. It was all higgledy-piggledy, and I went to visit. I was in and out of different schools. So I ended up with the Steiner school. I was allowed to visit and drop in, and then there were some days people could literally do what they want and create. But it sounds totally anarchistic, but actually it was having a really good effect on them from the looks of it, because you're so penned in public school. Like you say, I didn't realize it was all right brain based, but that makes sense. Lee.
It's connected to the development of the essence. The essence is the childish aspect.
Everything you get knocked out of you in public school, then.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Look at the comment here we've got from.
We
I
all know
didn't
that
realise-
on various levels, don't we? Everyone.
Big up
everyone
Sim
kind of
T.
knows that.
I didn't realise we've got viewers here in the Netherlands. Big up the Netherlands crew. They're saying over there in Holland they have Dalton schools, which are like Steiner schools. So it's about breaking down the straight lines of our synthetic sort of postmodern reality.
Manufactured.
It's about
Metric.
postmodernism, isn't it?
Metric.
Metric.
Yeah.
So yeah, break away from the synthetic, symmetrical metric universe. Big up everyone in the comments section. Larry Gallus is saying schism. Yeah, everyone talks about this. Everyone that's in the alternative sort of view of history talks about at some point maybe there was a schism when we broke away from our natural, geometric, organic way, and we came into this artificial. It's like when you look at things like the Soviet Union, when it came up with the first ever grey blocks, everything straight lines. Look at the council blocks all over Europe now. When I go to the Netherlands, last time I went to Holland and I went to Amsterdam. Love Holland, great country. You get on the Schiphol to Amsterdam. You see some of the council blocks out there. You think our blocks are very regimented, just grey. And the rest of the country,
Saturnian squares.
yeah, Saturnian squares. So about, should we have a break? What are we on? 1 hour,
Yeah,
10 minutes.
Just before that, regarding
Go on,
this.
go on.
Yeah, well, I was always taught that the main schism is between the conscious and the unconscious. That's like the origin of the schism, or that's how you would interpret the inner schism.
Well, I
to
think
the outer.
that's what we've already touched on. I called it the severing from our source.
Yeah,
You go to Aboriginal people, Indigenous people, their connection to the source hasn't been severed.
Not at all.
They can feel the energy of the earth. They can walk around
And they use it. They work with nature. Against.
Have you heard of the theory? Have you heard of the theory about the moon actually being a breakaway of the earth?
like a collision, and it was yes. That is that Zachariah Sitchin, like Sumerian theory?
Well, as far as
where
Tiamat goes, yeah, but it's in
yes,
other
that's
myths
it.
as well. And some
Tiamat.
science, I believe.
It's been around a few different
Real theory.
traditions. It's not just limited to one.
Right.
I was told about that through another source. Whether I believe it, I'm not sure, but that's meant to represent the conscious and subconscious with regards to the moon and the earth. It's the breakaway, because they say that the moon is the breakaway from
It's
the
like a
earth.
piece of the earth that broke away, and now it sort of
Yeah.
orbits there in a very strange position, doesn't rotate.
Yeah,
And
it's
to
meant
everyone
to
in the
symbolize the conscious and the unconscious.
food
That's
for
what
the
I find.
moon. Food for
Sorry?
the moon in the Guardians.
Yeah, food for the moon.
Food for the moon. Right, guys, we can have a break because we've had so many interruptions tonight. But you know why? We're brand new format. Look how many screens we've got. We've got Inner Guardians. We've got Spoken Word Nerd. We've got Magics. We've got Omar Beats in the corner. He's about to spin some more tunes for our little interlude. Myself and Andy PG are taking you through. We'll be back very soon. Let me just get rid of some of our guests. And Omar Beats, run that goddamn track. Yeah. Omar Beats on selection. It's Rise Above. It's Friday night. My name is Double LMC. We will be back shortly. Calm down, my selector.
Hey yo, I'ma shop the show. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the road. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the beat. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the street. Everybody knows that I spit big bars. Rude boys, I got no time for bars. Everybody knows on the right start. Shine so bright, I leave them with scars. Everybody knows you're checking breeze. You should take a seat. Don't know I spit that fire. So go on and just retire. See how I run this beat. You should take a leave. When I'm in the mic, ain't not alone. You know I run this beat. Hey yo, I'ma shop the show. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the road. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the beat. Everybody knows that I'm bigger than the street. Everybody knows that I spit big bars. Rude boys, I got no time for bars. Everybody knows on the right star. Shine so bright, I leave them with stars. Everybody knows you're chucking breeze. You should take a seat. Don't know what's been the fire. So go on and just retire. See how I run this beat. You should take a leave. When I'm in the mic, ain't not alone. You know I run this beat. I'm on the show. Everybody knows I'm bigger than the road. Everybody knows I'm bigger than the beat. Everybody knows I'm bigger than the street. Everybody knows I'm spit big bars. Rude boys up with all kinds of bars. Everybody knows I'm the right is not. That's so right, I lead them with stars. Everybody knows I'm chatting breeze. You should take a seat. That know I spit that cutter. So go on and just retire. See how I ride this beat. You should take a knee. Whenever the mic ain't nothing wrong, you know I run this beat.
Me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it them 40 hertz, but to me again. Me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it them 40 hertz, but to me again. DJ play tune, the girl get mad up. 18-inch pulsating and rattle, slow motion, new slogan, shit on up. Red light speaking, things burn up. Alright, my losing, keep the grooving. Could have been so fast to get to bruising. It's right there, making sure you choose it. Right, yeah, things someone call the music. It's not my fault, we be abusing. Sneakers back from the front ceiling. On the main body, got to want to breathe it. Why don't you it? Me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it that 40 hertz, but to me again. Me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it that 40 hertz, but to me again. DJ run that again, bass weighty. Climate changing, pace getting hazy, no phasing. We raving so wavy. Mental police can't change we. Alright, this girl got perfect timing, but about like that, need analyzing. Trinidad or I'm yelling for private to the end so long she wants to ride it. To the beat, she needs to vibe it. Big noise in room, this slogan minded. Hips and hips, they colliding. This year with me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it that 40 hertz, but to me again. Me like me baseline, like me like the girl. Cute face, always touch the wall, friend. Me like me baseline, like me waistline. So give it that 40 hertz, but to me again. Give it that 40 hertz, but to me again.
One, two. Yo, listen, out of chaos, out of chaos, out of chaos, order is restored. No more religion, so don't pray to the Lord. No more false idols, we all be disciples of the truth and what the truth can bring. A beggar on the street, the knowledge of the king. A beggar on the street with the knowledge of the king. All disciples to the truth and what the truth can bring. All my beats is mixing, listen.
Break away from the pack, with my back to the march. Walking in the wilderness and back to the car. In fact, the tracks has got me sleeping, falling back to the
Since they cut the coat from my placenta, from the warmth for the womb to the coldest part of the winter, why to get enter? Better still, tell me how you enter. Bad boy Sander on my beats, live inside the center. Welcome to my lecture, take precaution as you enter. You bite into the apple with the razors up in the center. Mic defender, lead pretender, looking for the denture. The type about the underdog, number one contender. Rolling for the entrance, taking every word in sentence. Penance for the mentions in my lyrical extension. On my beats, live inside the session. Rise above, live inside the studio, we're rising right above. Friday night, keeping it tight. Bring it up and a fader, over beats inside the ride, listen. Standard, there's no misunderstanding. MC double L's here. Standard, no misunderstanding. MC double L's here, and I've landed. Lyrical gonna be branded. Yo! Big up everyone in the comment section. Are you enjoying the stream? Let us know. 65 people still tuned in. I think we've already hit 5 hours. Shit! Killer Inc. Part 2. Killer Inc. Part 2. Melt through the plastic on my biro. Things are getting drastic. MC's fighting for survival. MC's fighting for survival. MC's fighting for survival. Big up Graham B. Big up Moko. Big up Chop the Dog. Arthur. Larry Gallus. Andy Pandy. I type spoken word nerd in the Guardian. Yo, saw beneath the surface, start the war on purpose. They might think they're heavyweight, but they could never hurt this. Watch as we attack this, swarming like arachnids. They might think they're heavyweight, but they could never hack this. Watch as we attack this, swarming like arachnids. Every single move premeditated. We're never tactless, we're never tactless. Oma Beats and Double LMC, we attack this. We attack this. We come in tactless. Yeah, Rise Above family. Big up Carola France. It's a new addition to the stream. We're having a little bit of a mix. Rinsing out your Friday night. We need to raise up the temperature, raise up the volume, raise up the vibration. Who is the architect of all creation? The all-seeing eye can't see the change in my vibration. Breaking through the surface, doing it purposely. Consciousness triumphs in the face of adversity. Strong ties are tethered, weak links are severed. Strive towards the goal that we've endeavored. Believe, revealing hidden knowledge. Ancient clay tablets, crucial to the creators of this world that we inhabit. Who is the architect of all creation? The all-seeing eye can't see the change in this vibration. Who is the architect? Many ask the questions, few has got the answers yet. Few have got the answers yet. Rah! Few have got the answers yet. Who is the architect? Oma Beats and Double LMC, we're blazing down the set. Yeah! Bigger, badder, better, we come, I'm bigger, badder, better, double L, get ya. Coming down with the critical, what? Coming down with the critical pressure, bigger, badder, better, bass, rise above, Friday, live inside the place, Oma Beats. Thank you very much. Yo. Okay, thank you very much, Oma Beats. Big up. Okay, let's stay that. Hang tight, everybody. So, stream. Yo, what's happening? Let's get Magic's spoken word nerd in the Guardians back in. Tonight, we have been loosely talking about the continent of Antarctica.
Ooh, in the Guardians,
shit. Look at the opposing force in the Guardian screen.
See that magenta as well.
We haven't really been dropping like massive truth bombs about what Antarctica is. We've been asking questions. We've been looking into the history of our realm, of the official story of this guy, Admiral Byrd, about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, New Swabia, and everything else that's involved in this weird part of our realm, which
satanic story.
Yeah, this massive occult story involving Disney.
Oh God, let's not start reading off the names.
Well, you know that we're going to finish off with the next God Badge video about Antarctica. In the Guardian, we've gone. Magic, go on.
There should be 2 slides left with one.
Oh yeah, I believe there is. There's more. Okay, so let me just zoom out. I'll tell you what. Let me go to the other view. We've been jumping around so much tonight. Tonight's been a proper freestyle show, guys. Wait. Okay, here we go. These are all the crazy maps of Antarctica. Here we finished off with the most up-to-date ones from the Freemason, the sort of occult knight of the realm. He is a knight of the realm, isn't he?
Yeah,
Magix?
100%.
Dude's a knight of the realm. Admiral Byrd. What's next?
This
Magic.
is a bit of a bonus. This is two islands.
That's supposed to be Antarctica.
Yeah.
At the
Okay.
top, the
You've got
south of America. And here, Australia.
Australia.
Really?
Interesting.
And when's this supposed to be from? Is this an Admiral Byrd map?
This is more of a recent one I'm gonna find.
Wow.
A lot about.
Well, this is like if you looked right, if you were looking at the bottom of the globe upwards, right? Is that what we're supposed to assume?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's your final map of the section, isn't it? So we've come full
I think
circle.
we missed it.
Oh God, wait. No, that's all I got. Have I missed
I've
something?
just sent it.
Oh right, well, you didn't tell me. You just sent it to me. Okay, one sec. We just got a brand new slide coming into the stream. Bear with me. Get a new one right here. Yes, here. Right. So this is a brand new one from you, Magix. We just drag it
So
over.
this map comes
Oh, look how
from.
small it is. One sec. Hold on. Let me get rid of this shit. I'll make a big one here. Oh, there it is. That's better. Right, view. Here we go. Big view.
The Perry Reese map.
Is it the Perry Reese map? That's the bottom.
Yeah.
So this is quite a famous one.
Right. Piri Reis map, 1513. Ahmed Muhyiddin Piri, better known as Piri Reis, was an Ottoman admiral, a navigator, a geographer, and a cartographer. He's primarily known today for his maps and charts collected in his Kitab 1 Bahiri, Book of Navigation, a book that contained detailed information on early navigational techniques, as well as a relatively accurate charts for their time, describing the important ports and cities of the Mediterranean Sea. And this is his map here. Is this Antarctica at the bottom right here?
Yeah, this whole thing is a thing in this.
Well, that means it's next to the Mediterranean. What? So
Well, you
this,
have-
this small gap here is like the difference between Antarctica and the Mediterranean?
Well, there's some people believe that if you look at the picture of the right American lines and the coastline, so he confused with America. But
They're
other
all getting
others
totally
believe-
differently, aren't they?
Guys, this is Antarctica as well.
Or is that by design?
By design for maximum confusion. Who knows? Because someone called for this earlier, the Piri Reis map. I can honestly say that none of these maps actually get us any closer to the answer of what is Antarctica, because they're all different. Surely
It's
this
also
has got to be by design.
Subjective.
So you're saying the map actually reflects the person who wrote it?
It's their interpretation of reality.
So
And
what
quite-
about
quite
what about Google Maps in the Guardians? Is that Google's algorithms interpretation, or is that a conscious interpretation? Do you think when we were looking at it earlier?
I think it's manipulation.
Yeah, I do. I think it is massive manipulation.
Are we leaning? What are we saying here, guys? Are we leaning towards that Antarctica is not a continent? It's like something that's surrounding us. Is that
I
what
think
we're
I
saying?
think a portal or gateway.
A gateway. We're back to Godvaj, because Godvaj says it's the exit to the realm.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, I think it's probably about time for us to add that extra element as we wind down the show.
Well, hold up.
Well, no, because we can comment on this. We're not going
We've got.
Oh no! Wait,
we've
you've got
some
more. You've got more. Right? Okay. I tell you what. Pardon me.
We've got a couple more. yeah.
Pardon me, Andy PG. So we've got an extra element to the story, and I will hand over to Andy PG on this. Right?
So
Let's share that shit.
drag that over.
Flag. Right.
This is a great article. Okay, so this is basically talking about the black goo, which I know Magix loves. So basically, what they're saying is in this article, I'll give you the quick rundown of it. Basically, the Falklands War was a cover-up so that the British, like Black Ops, Navy SEALs could go in and obtain this black goo, and basically, take it back to study it. And there's a great article here. So this is from the me time for the mind. So guys, check this out. But later on, yeah, down in this article, we've got a video, and this is just a couple of minutes long. So we're just going to share that. I'm going to play this. Black goo.
I've heard of black goo
Antarctica.
before.
That's where it came from.
Right.
What do you make of that?
Can we have someone's thoughts on this? Magic, spoken word nerd.
Anyone really?
So what I know about black goo is it's semi-art.
Yeah, Magic.
spatial
Literally everything you know about black goo.
so yeah, it's a semi-artificial, semi-biological goo from outer space, and you can consume it and you become part of. You can become part of the hive mind.
Wait a minute. Is this not a John Carpenter film called The Thing? That thing that they found in Antarctica was literally like a blob, which was like this sort of like organic sentient being. It can replicate, it can consume, it becomes you.
I mean, look at Prometheus.
Yeah, Prometheus.
There's a lot.
It's exactly
Oh
it.
shit. Ridley Scott
Yeah,
knows.
there's a lot of interpretation.
You think Ridley Scott hasn't been to Antarctica?
Obviously, he probably went to Antarctica to get all the ideas for his films.
100% he's been to Antarctica.
He done know.
I was going to say, in a lot of the films, I'm thinking Tomb Raider, there's a black goo that runs almost like consciously of itself through the channels and it opens up the ancient temples, and that's a theme in a couple of films, I think. I don't know about.
And they've also they found black goo on pharaohs' coffins because it's temples and the pyramids.
Oh, okay.
It's something that exists throughout history, a bit like the black cube.
It
Like
does.
the Tesseract, that is something that's sort of synonymous.
You think? Listen to what the dude said outside of MI6. He said that when they got it back to the lab, once they exposed it to temperature, once they warmed it up, that's when it became really responsive, and it went badly wrong. So, if it's being kept in Antarctica, it's kind of being kept at bay, isn't it? Because it's cold, right? So
Keep it in the fridge.
remember our friend Buzz Aldrin when he went down to Antarctica and he had to be medical evacuated, and he said he said he's seen what's down there and it's evil and it's coming for everyone. No, is this what he's talking about? Is the black goo what he's talking about? Is that it? What do you reckon about this, Master Lee?
Well, like I was alluding to earlier, if you could describe the subconscious in physical 3D reality, what might it look like?
Wow. 3D consciousness in 3D reality, what would it look like? How would it manifest? Subconscious.
Maybe like the
Shadow.
black goo.
Well, aren't people sort of suggesting? I've heard the suggestion that this black goo is like the precursor for life on the planet, because that's what it basically says in Prometheus. It's like the blueprint, isn't it? But it's also the destroyer, which is kind of a paradox.
Well, if it's conscious, I guess it depends on the level at which it's conscious. I mean, crystals, they're saying are conscious now. The plants are getting wider knowledge now as being conscious. I guess it depends on what level it's conscious, how much goo there is, or how powerful the goo is.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it, this black goo idea is pretty theoretical at this point. I mean, I've heard of it. I've seen this guy talk about it.
You think of how many people, how many like institutions wear black, how many controlling hierarchical institutions, police, judges, military.
Yeah.
There's a lot of black.
It's interesting because I don't believe things, but I've heard people say that black is quite a good color if you're working through something, but you shouldn't hold on to it for too long because then you can start to attract negative energy. But it's good for a time, or it's good for a conscious purpose or whatever. I'll throw that out.
Everyone in the comment section is saying we're getting loads of echoing on guests. Some saying it's spoken word, some saying it's not. Apologise for that. Yeah, that always happens. It's just a denying force, isn't it? It's like when we're all having a good chat. Yeah, Becky, yes, all guests are echoing. All right, let me boot everyone out and invite them back in. 1, 2, 3, back. Yeah, I apologise.
I mean, I find the black goo very fascinating if it's an intelligent substance which can learn from its surroundings and its
What I'm
hosts.
interested in to know is where is the evidence of this black goo outside of
Yeah, where is
a
the
guy
evidence?
like that making a video? Because I've heard of it loads of times. It's been mentioned. Magix talks about this black goo. It's like the sickest idea ever. But like,
So yeah, Magix, is there
has
any
anyone
evidence
ever
of this
captured
black
a
goo?
piece of black goo and had it recorded? Like, and
Well,
filmed?
allegedly, MI6 did.
Yeah, but that's
Well,
allegedly.
you've
Isn't it?
got the Pharaohs thing. Supposedly that was like a mixture of diesel and tar. Officially. But
What do you mean the pharaohs thing?
well, the sarcophagus
Magix
is
said they
pharaoh.
found
What the,
goo
the,
on
the liquid
sarcophagus.
inside the sarcophagus was a mixture of diesel and tar.
I think it was on the outside.
Right. Okay. Maybe
No,
that was a
we're talking
sealing
about
thing.
a sentient liquid, an intelligent
Yeah.
force.
And people say it was on the Pharaoh's sarcophaguses, and it's been at various different times. It's like a parasitic hive mind thing.
A sentient like invader, a parasite.
Some people say
Interesting.
What
in like
about- What about
in
oil?
the secret space program stuff that it comes from Venus.
Sorry, Master Lee, were you going to say something then?
Yeah. What about oil?
Sure.
It could be a type or a conscious type of oil. I mean, where does oil come from?
Yeah, from the earth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the veins or the
The
fluid.
blood of the earth, almost.
Blood, yeah.
Yeah, Omar Beach just brought up this subject about cattle mutilations. We went to this talk from Richard D. Hall, and he talks about actually the mechanics of what cattle mutilations could be. And they did like this investigative study into the actual carcasses that were left over, where their eyes and their organs had been surgically cut out. And the conclusion he came to, Omar Beach, was like it was a type of sentient technology that was going inside the carcasses, picking them up, cutting pieces out, and then just dropping them on the floor. It was almost something that was flying into
Yeah, it was
them.
crazy. And then there was reports of seeing like
Oh, I've got to turn you up there, mate. One sec.
yeah, it's crazy because they were the woman who was doing the study was talking about how there was reports from all the locals saying all the animals had lights in their eyes when they were being lifted up from when they saw them being moved.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the
Well,
woman
like
had on the
illumination from inside the body,
breast, well, I
like
think
that.
through the eyes, because they reckon how it goes into the body. She wasn't too sure, but they was hinting
like,
towards her like
sentient sort of technology
existence
or
or
goo.
living
Is it some kind of Schwab tech?
Maybe it is a Schwab
Got a
tech.
great
Narration.
comment here. Venom Spider-Man is like black goo.
Oh, that's what they were saying,
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Spoken word out. Venom, Spider-Man. Venom is like black goo, isn't he? Because he's like basically, that is what black goo is. It goes inside the
And
host,
takes over.
takes over them. Like a Goa'uld. That's from SG1. Stargate SG1. Guys, anyone seen that? I'm going to do a little expose into Stargate SG1.
So,
in a
I
coming
mean,
episode.
from what
Maybe next week.
So let's just
That's a good
look
comment,
at,
Santi.
look at this from take a step back and look at it. We all know how much they like to put all their, the truth in films and movies and computer games and all of that.
Truth bombs.
Look how many times the black goo's been featured in one way or another in different
Robin Williams, goo. The whole
various
film. It
things.
was green
Yeah,
there.
yeah, flubber,
Flubber.
an intelligent
Vin Diesel.
liquid or jelly form. So it's like there's multiple times this has been featured. So there must be something in it. Must be some truth in it.
Nah, Pitch Black, he doesn't have the goo in. He's just got his eyes shine so he can see in the dark. Thinking of different films. Yeah, so these archetypes. In The Guardians, you talked about this. Many different Hollywood mainstream films have truth bombs hidden inside them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a valid source of information. He's looking at mainstream movies or Hollywood.
Sure.
As you know, I've been getting really into Black Mirror. Now, that's another subject, Black Mirror. What is the Black Mirror?
Lee, can I just ask you a question? I was I couldn't find it. I was scanning through the previous shows. What you said there was a particular episode of Black Mirror that everyone should watch.
I know the one. It's bad. It's really, really harrowing. It's dark. It's the spaceship episode, isn't it, Lee?
Well, there's a few, but yeah, I recently watched. Bearing in mind, I've not seen any of these Black Mirrors until 2021. I never watched them. Like,
Oh, I haven't seen any.
I saw them.
haven't
In,
seen
I
any.
saw most of them in 18 or 19, and the one that he's talking about with the spaceship is absolutely terrifying. And I'll just give you a little synopsis. It's about this software company where they're developing virtual reality universes, which you can basically log onto your computer and you fly around in it, like Star Trek. It's a Star Trek universe. But one of the creators, he's like a very sort of ineffectual beta male gimp cuck that everyone bullies in the software suite, and everyone bullies him instinctively. He gets absolutely rinsed in this company, although he's the main brains there. And in a nutshell, what he does is, on the side of this virtual reality game, he creates his own internal universe game that only he has access to, and no one else can go in there. And people in the office that bully him, he touches them or takes a swab of them, takes their genetic material, and uses that to digitally clone them and put them into his own artificial universe. And in that artificial universe, they are his slaves. They have no sex organs. So they're trapped in there. They can never go to sleep. They can never die. They can never have sex with each other. They have no... he basically takes away all their ability to enjoy and to feel. And when he goes in there, he can torture them forever and they can never die.
Wow.
This is the one you're talking about, Lee, yeah?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah,
It is
very dark.
terrible. It is horrible. And when he goes around this universe, you encounter, they go to the different planets that they do in Star Trek, like Captain Kirk. They go to this one planet. There's this one disgusting blob creature that's literally this repulsive blob. And what you find out is this is the copied consciousness of someone from their office that bullied him, and he turned them into this disgusting 20-foot blob for the rest of eternity. And they have to go, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and if you think about that, you can never die, you can never go to sleep.
Yeah.
Imagine that. And the synthetic universe is what we're talking about, isn't it, Inner Guardians?
Yeah, I think in the near future that needs to be a topic that we cover in more depth.
Absolutely, because it's encroaching on us very quickly.
Yeah, potentially.
Well,
yes.
I've already looked into the digital twin technology that's going to come with 6 and 7G, and it's actually exactly that.
Whoa.
You haven't looked into 6 and 7G yet, bro.
You can't just drop that out.
You're slow. 5G's old. I've looked into 6, 7, and even 8G. They reckon in 6 and 7G,
let's talk about it.
the digital twin is exactly this. You create a digital copy of your consciousness that can be populated into a synthetic reality, and it will interact exactly as you would, and it will believe it's you. It will take in the stimulus and output it as you would. So think about this. You could send your digital twin halfway around the world as a hologram to stand and do a presentation as you. They're already talking about this technology. This is 6G technology.
So is this kind of like when Tupac did a concert after he died?
It'd be kind of like that, but it wouldn't be a recorded
Like
version of Tupac. It would be a
hologramic.
real-life, synthetic, cloned version of your consciousness,
So,
believing it was real and acting as if it was you.
So it's got a physical body.
No, it's got a digital, virtual body.
So it's
but
holographic.
yeah, but its consciousness is real.
It is
It's
real,
a
but
real
it's holographic.
cloned version of your consciousness.
So if could you like put your hand through it, but it would still be a
So,
physical...
for instance, I could be sat here doing Rise Above, and I could be using a digital twin in Bangkok
To do a
be
presentation of
emceeing a
something
Muay
else.
Thai fight.
So can you have
And it would-
multiple of these?
Yeah, infinite amounts.
Wow.
That's what 6G and 7G will provide.
So you can have Bill Gates spurting out multiple messages to
But look at
different
it the other way.
nations.
Look at what we're talking about. They could take a clone of you, trap it in a synthetic prison in an isolation cell, and pump it full of stimulus until the end of time, and harvest the essence or the information from it.
Wow.
I believe that might already be happening.
That is something to think about. Master Lee, can you go into this? What's your take on all this?
Well, I think you've pretty much covered it for the most part. But if you look at it, we're already in the shadow of it right now. What we're doing, with computer technology, we're in the shadows of that reality. And this is why the terms like capturing is, if you notice, the word capture has become very prevalent in 2020.
Data
And
capture.
Well, yeah, and in political circles, it's a word that's becoming more prevalent, and it's taken on a new meaning. This was one of the things that inspired me with inspired me to do the Inner Guardians, was when I realised that
I haven't noticed this. I've got to be honest. I haven't noticed the word cap. Maybe I'll look out for this now.
Data capture. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
yeah,
a big
but
thing.
even things like the net. I mean, what does that tell you?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I've said this about one of our earlier shows. The internet and the World Wide Web.
Yeah, what
I
do you
mean,
use a net
what
for?
do
To
nets and
capture
webs
people.
do? Yeah, they catch shit. Yeah, I said this on one of our first streams.
So you see,
very
they
good point.
can hear someone snoring. Who's that? Word nerd. Have you fallen asleep? is someone heavy breathing? Who's fallen asleep? Is it word nerd?
Might be me breathing in my mic. I've got a foot mic on this gaming headset. I need to get a mic.
You're just deep throating the mic.
It's late.
Right, guys,
Late,
so hey, we've been in and out, as within, so without.
So
as
what's
above, so
what's
below.
our evaluation of Antarctica tonight?
don't-
Magix, what's your evaluation of Antarctica?
Are we any further in understanding what it is?
I've got more questions, man.
Everything we know about it comes from dodgy people.
Yeah, like, what could we possibly know about it when everything we've ever been taught is from dark occultist Freemasons?
We haven't even talked about UFOs much. About
All the Nazis.
more.
Jesus
well, the
Rudolf
Christ.
Hess, sponsor
Yeah.
of 1938 Nazi expedition, Hermann Goring, 1938. We can
Yeah,
ask
I
some of
think
these people that have
definitely
been,
do
I think.
an
We need to find out who's been that's alive. Buzz Aldrin's been, Prince Harry's been, King Juan Carlos of Spain has been.
Pope
Shit, we
thing.
didn't even cover that. The Orthodox Russian minister.
Oh no, we've
Pope.
got it here.
Oh no, wait, we have gone, and we're going to finish.
Oh
off
no,
in
we
a
haven't.
minute.
No, we did it. It went, didn't it?
Oh, we've been all
had to
over the
reset
place tonight. Listen, Antarctica is a whole rabbit on a platter in itself. We've just been chatting about it tonight, but it's been amazing. We've had an audience.
a second trip.
Admiral Bird, what?
Like Admiral Bird, we've got to do a second trip.
Yeah, we can't trust him. We need to go there for ourselves.
I said
Yeah,
this
if you'll
before.
go fund me us, guys,
Go
rise
fund
above.
me.
Click
Go
to
to Rise
Antarctica.
Above Antarctica, yeah.
We're down.
He says,
We might have to go there. That could
yeah,
be the only.
maybe that's the only way to
place.
escape what's coming. Maybe that's the only way. Guys, I tell you what. I think
Should we
we've-
wind it up?
We've got it. I think we're probably
Yeah.
on 6 hours. Right. In case anyone didn't know, next week we are inviting back the amazing Human Vibration.
Awesome.
Next week we're going to be talking about not what is this realm, what's outside this realm. We're going to be talking about what is space. Hopefully we're going to have Inner Guardians back on the panel again. If he's not out and about, we're going to have Magix, spoken word nerd. We might even have Omar Beats back for some more music. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We're gonna do the outro review. Don't worry, of course, bruv.
We're gonna
Yeah.
do the after hours.
Oh yeah, we have after hours as well. We're gonna have some God Badge coming up. So guys, don't go anywhere. Omar Beats is gonna be playing us out. Inner Guardians, thank you very much for joining us. A last word from you. A last thought for our viewers until next week.
Right, yeah. So we're living in a giant jigsaw puzzle, so it's a case of piecing it together. But at the same time, you've got the chance or the opportunity to choose what jigsaw you want to build. So I'm recommending to everybody that they detach from the mainstream and rise and build. We've got a wide field where we can choose to operate, but I would say select the bandwidth that you want to operate in and start creating, building the reality that you want.
Manifest what you want to create. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
very
open.
much. It's open.
not-
The choice is ours. Yeah. The choice is ours to manifest.
Build
what we
with
want.
light, not with blocks.
Yeah. Word nerds,
Because blocks block you.
Magix. Any last words? Any last thoughts until next week, where we can take it to outer space?
Have you got the picture of next week?
No, I haven't, but I'll put it up soon, mate. You know I was rushing tonight. You know I've had a weird week. But next week is Human Vibration.
Ping it over on Facebook, Magic, because we're going to do after hours as well. 'cause we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
stick
ping it
up.
over. We'll put it up in a
We can
minute.
stick it up,
We're still going to be broadcasting for another half an hour.
Are we
So
still doing
just pick
space
over.
next week and human vibration then?
Human
Yeah, yeah.
Vibration is coming on next week, and we're going to be
Combined,
talking
mate,
about like
combined.
what is space.
We're going to talk about the level of magenta featured.
It's going to
in
be super
SpaceX.
dope. Trust me. And listen, I'll prepare much more for next week. I won't have this crazy week that I've had this week. So, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. In the Guardians, big up yourself. Word nerd. See you next week. Magix,
Big
thank
up,
you very
everyone.
much for your maps and your spider diagrams and your endless rabbit hole. We're going to hand
Check
it over.
the inbox.
Yeah, check the inbox. More to come. We're going to hand it over to my man, like Omar Beats. Omar Beats, we're on the track.
Man hates God. Jesus
Please
said,
rise above.
if you hate him, they will hate those who preach his gospel. Jesus Christ is the most hated man on planet man on earth today. And it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. But God will prevail because He is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. He is the King of compassion, the Lily of the Valley. He is the great I am, the Alpha and Omega. He is the beginning and the last. He is the Lion of Judah.
Ask questions that are the deepest. What is a religious extremist? A terrorist with the Wahhabi thesis? Pedo priest, praying to Jesus, a rabbi, circumcising a penis, gesturing God, acting fiendish, lecturing mobs back. Who is the cleanest? Claiming we're equal, acting elitist. Listen up, there's lies in his sermon. Why's that? You think it's vermin. Hypocrites ain't hard to determine. Gotta rise up, be wise like a serpent. Beware the saving of serpents who prey on the weak, headed and burden. Dissidents are destined for burning. Indoctrination is different to learning. You know the fables are coded. Demons, angels, the meaning's eroded. Reasons known by those who devoted. Revised, rewrote and promoted. Years past, scriptures unfolded. The name changed but never the motive. Translated, wildly misquoted. Sugar-coated, vile and corrosive notions. Charged with bitter emotions. Boarded ships and sail across oceans. Holy books, gunpowder explosions. Hiding text like Trojans. Insidious lines were spoken. Indigenous minds were broken. Then he tread the path of the chosen. And then stepped with the hoof of the cloven.
But many people want to praise Him, but they know He is with who He is. He's Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Jesus Christ. God's a perfect man and man's a perfect God. You can't say you haven't been warned on the day of judgment. Change your ways and turn to God.
Lots of things to see, and lots of things to touch.
This one, the poison dart.
And lots of things to smell, and lots of things to taste. But there are some things that can make you sick, called poison.
Poison.
Oh my.
Sound of overbeats and double L.
Danger alert. There does appear to be an alarming increase in children mistaking medicine for candy.
Poison. Poison. This is the sound of some light occultish, yeah? Poison. 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 Poison dart, straight to the heart, mate. Now a soundboy never wanna partake. It's not a game, in no arcade. Shoot like a cupid, causing them heartache. Cry me a river, it's your last day. I was a sinner, that's in the past, mate. We never talk no more. What's going on? You never wanna parlay. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. No one mentioned, no one named. And I move on a track like a high-speed train. Never derailed by leaf, no rain. Relentless on a long campaign. Darts get fired with a pinpoint aim. But METHOD of delivery to bring you the pain. Poison darts, straight to the heart. And this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oma Beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the end to the start. Poison darts, straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. No one escapes the force of the blast. As above, so below, the first should be last. Oma Beats and double L. Poison. Oma Beats and double L. Poison. 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 Darts my taboo armor place. Accelerator a ramming race. Wipe a smile off a charming face, then stop the war by disarming stays like whoa. Who broke the ceasefire? Grab the mic lead and choke the tank crier. No matter what transpire, slash food beef just like cheese wire. Rain on them with a heavy artillery. Painstaking wordplay, sickest delivery. Leaving MC in a seizure. Foes in veins, bust like capillary. Enter the bloodstream intravenously. Rhyme schemes infect you seamlessly. No vaccine, conveniently. Fatalities are occurring frequently. Poison darts, straight to the heart. And this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oma Beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the end to the start. Poison darts, straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. No one escapes the force of the blast. And above so below, the first shall be last. Poisonous, new forms more lethal. Poison dart infects more people. They write the law, so it's legal. Poison dart is a nurse's needle. Shot first from a DP's pen. Chosen first from the DSM. The target, women, children, men. Sold to the remedy for defense. The reality gets much worse. Sick minds no less of a burst. They take the vaccine to batten the purse 6 months before the yak rates rehearsed. Let me make things clear. Inside your mind's the final frontier. Your demise has been engineered. Seek the truth or succumb to the fear. Poison darts, straight to the heart. And this rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oma Beats has mastered the craft. Take it back from the end to the start. Poison darts, straight to the heart. This rhythm's gonna tear them apart. Oma Beats has mastered the craft. Poisonous. Poisonous. Yeah, big up Inner Guardians, big up Magic, spoken word nerds. Yo. Rise Above family. Big up Yoji.
I found a shaman and I drank ayahuasca. During that first ceremony, I found my apprenticeship.
Like I said, for your whole life, you've been listening to the sounds of dark occultists. Right about now, the music of light occultists. I came to this jungle looking for the shaman to learn knowledge, to get training. I got questions, need explaining. We manifest these thoughts we are making. We talk for days where no words were spoken. My third eye's wide open, my 7 chakras awoken. Then the Babylon spell got broken. Come to the jungle, now I'm the shaman. Draw from the power of thunder like it's no Mortal Kombat. I won't draw for swords, I'm not on that. Why? The vibration's high. Them not test I and I speak to the Buddha and Rastafari, but we chat to the prophet, tell no lie. We all the shaman, smoke with the Rasta, love for the prophet, teach the pastor. Too many questions, one answer. Speak to the jungle, knees to the dirt, next to the tribal leader. Speaking the words of the healer, I'm feeling the words. Seeking the teacher vibe, Mimosa Creeper, MEOI, inhibitor. Any your vine can't mimic her, ancient mixture, draw with vinegar. Taught by the ancient visitor. I feel like I'm slipping away when my eyes look through to the clearing. Some beats down on my face, what's that? In my peripheral hearing. Chemical gateway, access the physical plane. Ingesting the neural pathway, assessing my spiritual pain. Rise above, big up Yoji 33, big up Larry Gallus, Andy Pandy, Sasha English. They will serve the same master. Too many questions, one answer. Too many questions, one answer. Too many questions, one answer. Oma beats the master blaster.
Now, it's no joke to drink ayahuasca.
Like a dose of iboga. One toke, game over. Deep in the jungle, chilling with the elders, learning customs of ancient cultures. Yo, we fulfill the prophecy. No words describe that logically profile fighting you might see properly. Wait, can you feel it? Hold it in before you release it. You got the key to revealing the secret. They tried hard to conceal it. Wait, now release. The filth on the streets increase. I'm on a quest to find inner peace. Escaping the belly of the beast. Then we'll serve the same master. Too many questions, one answer. You the shaman, smoke with the rasta. Learn from the prophet, teach the pastor. Then we'll serve the same master. Too many questions, one answer. Too many questions, one answer. Too many questions, one answer. Big up Homer Beats, rise above, baby. Random grind beat. Yo. Last one from me before we have some after hours business. Everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. Every Friday night. This is an Oma Beach remix. If you're old enough to remember this, let me know if you can recognize it in the comment section. I got grime on. Nah. Yo. Brothers, sisters, join the resistance. This is big, we need big assistance. Hard work and a lot of persistence. Stop their plans, end our existence. For a spanner in the works, tell the people, fuck what you've heard. I'm exposing the names of the snakes that lurk. I kill 2 birds with 1 stone, or 2 stones with 1 bird. I flipped it around and I did my own. I'm exposing things that were once unknown. You can't leave it alone. It's the age of information. Info spreads like an infestation. Whether you're consciously waking or sitting back with some high-grade blazing. More fresh than before, so blessed. Better reach for the chord, no stress. Put a foot to the floor. Oma Beats come and settle the score, never acquiesce. Break from the source, unique with the natural force. So sleep, no time for a pause. There's time for a round of applause. Stop, freeze, pause. Throw up your hands if you're down for the cause. Face breaks, jaws. Hit the floor, get down on all fours. We rewrite laws. Spit it out, stand back, wait for applause. Styles come forth. Oma Beats, let me hear your thoughts. Yeah, Oma Beats, let me hear your thoughts. Double L from the land of the lost. Rise above, just because. Rise above, everybody. Thank you very much for tuning in. Oh shit. I got bars on it. Go on, Oma Beats. Play it with bars, I'm done. Big up everyone tuned in.
bear witness to this phenomenon. A clear sickness as it's coming on, that's their business. So I carry on beating my fist on the walls of Babylon. And it's vicious, if you're a vagabond in the British Isles, it ain't Avalon. The ambitious escape to the Amazon, life is malicious, climbing the echelon. So we gotta break them chains, be personal best and make them gains. It's a hurtful mess, so abstain from eternal threats and a long campaign. Enough stress, but we don't complain, and I'm hopeful, so I won't refrain from a global test. Could have maintained on a mobile flex with no disdain. Up against an immovable object, placing bets on illusional odds set. Yo, it's cruel from the onset, killing you slow is the usual project. Still thriving despite the drawbacks, ill right and designing formats. This life got a ride in rollback, the mind's climbing not wide to the floor mat. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan, keeping watching the eyes conspiring. Catch wind, sound of the siren, fuse to the flames of the furnace is firing. Not inspiring, expanding, inquiring to gain understanding. A fall from the top equals a crash landing. Don't get fooled by the devil's rebranding. They make the rules, but we got the game plan. They make the rules, but we got the game plan. Up against an immovable object. They make the rules, but we got the game plan. Placing bets on illusional odds. They make the rules, but we got the game plan. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan. 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 They make the rules, but we got the game plan. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan. They make the rules, but we got the game plan. You ain't with it? Get out the way, man. Short-sighted, take off the Ray-Ban. Sourcing ethical goods, not name brands. No bait plans, we execute. Blueprints get come with a fine tooth. The control system is not absolute. Revealing the truth is the way to recruit the youth. Collating a mountain of proof while they're stacking a mountain of lies. Cracking the code is eternity striving. Like drinking the fountain of life. Like a rhythm that I'm already riding. Aiming to bring down the houses tonight. The mic's hidden with imminent rising. When I draw this run figure life. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan. 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 They make the rules, but we got the game plan. Up against the immovable object inside the Leviathan. Up against the immovable object, the Leviathan. Up against the immovable object, placing bets on the illusional odds. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan. Greasing cords inside the Leviathan.
If it keeps going the way it's going, I have a chance to break. Break deep state. Break the deep state. Break. Break deep state. Break. Break the deep state. Break. The deep state. Break. 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 The deep state.
Okay. Break the deep state. Break the deep state. On the beats. It's music, we abuse it, we choose it. We choose it, we produce it. It's music. We just rolling out Andy Pandy, Oshie London, Larry Gallus, Yogi 33. I want everyone to be very safe at those protests tomorrow. Don't like too much friction against the opposing force. Don't be tricked. Don't be set into the trap. Sprint towards the light that will blind us. Taking plus for minus. Squeeze and drop some moisture out the dryness. Tangent down cosinus. Not bowing to no highness. This is rise above. We got an army behind us. This is rise above. We got an army behind us. Tangent down cosinus. Not bowing to no highness. Squeeze and drop some moisture out the dryness. Believe. I type Chop the Dog. Big up Graham B. We've still got 54 people tuned in. Rolling out. It's the sound of Oma Beats. Live inside the South Coast, Southwest streets, and we're neat. With Double L, we're so unique. Laying it down. Lyric after lyric, beat after beat. Live up on the station. Live inside the Rise HQ. UK Nation. Bump it down. Many different vibration as we run it down. Little bit rusty, but we're still learning. Finger on the fader, mic and out of the mixer. Come. Bass and drum. Spark up the flame, pass me the light. Somebody better tell me who be blazing tonight. Spark up the flamer, pass me the light. Oma Beats on selection, Double L on the mic. Spark up the flame, pass me the lighter. Somebody tell me, are you ready to be hyper? Raise up the vibration, raise up the vibe. Live inside the mic. Double L is a lyricist, not a street fighter. He's a mixer, plus he's a producer.
The old school to the new school, just open your ears and listen. A music with a message of vision, knowledge and wisdom.
Yo, a reactor or a creator. Reactor or a creator. Words are weapons, words are swords. Live inside the center as we're bumping down, praising to the Lord. Yo, out of chaos, order is restored. Out of chaos, order is restored. No more religion, so don't pray to the Lord. No more false idols, we all be disciples. Disciples to the truth, and what the truth can bring. On the street there's a knowledge. Yeah. On the street there's a beggar with the knowledge of the king.
Open your ears and listen. A music with a message of vision.
Yo. Twisted modulation, perfect technique. Live inside the station, if you're rinsing up on the beat, I said twisted modulation, perfect technique. Sounding kind of unique, sounding on the beat, we said perfect modulation, twisted technique. Double LMC with Oma Beats. Big up Yogi 33, Andy Pandy, Chop the Dog, Chrissy, Graham B, Larry Gallus. Beware of the Dungeon Master, Evil, Twisted, Nightmare, Crafter, blood runs cold and heart turns darker. Yeah, Oma Beats, Savage. Rise above, you savage. In case you didn't know, me be the manifester.
just hoping it is a listen. I'm music with a message of vision, knowledge and
Getting technical and dirty. Where do I put my phone? It's been a little while, so I've got to draw for the archive, right? It's been a little while. Come people, tell me what you think as we push it past the boundary, push it past the brink. What do you know? Oh, we write with Killer Ink, burning hot like a foundry. To bust the next link, we keep it low. I keep it close to the family. It's double L, other MCs, they can't handle me. Every time I write a rhyme, I'm pushing past the boundary. Every time I write a rhyme, I'm pushing past the boundary. They just can't handle me. Oma Beats and Andy PG, aka Industry Roller. First I pick up the pen, then I pull off the lid. With my thumb I click of the button, blow! Out pops the nib. Time for ink to flow in the paper, flipping up the scripts. Time to flip the older paper, flipping up the scripts. I could write a lyric. I could write a lyric that would bust you in the lip. Listen. And I could write a lyric that would take you on a trip. I could write a lyric, leave you spinning round in circles and not knowing what you think, I'll see you shrink. Write a lyric so dirty it stinks. It's Killer Ink, burning up on the paper in the blink of Killer Ink. Give you a chance to let you hear me think it's Killer Ink. Believe my shit don't stink. I spit a verbal that will precious to the mink. Killer Ink, burning up on the paper in the blink, it's Killer Ink. Best believe the shit don't stink, it's Killer Ink. Andy PG, live upon the link. It's Rise Above, blowing out the sink. We're rinsing out everything apart from the kitchen sink. Big up Oma Beats, Andy PG, Industry Roller. Hang tight all the family, Inner Guardians. Big up Millie Bite Size, Hang Tight Magics. Spoken Word Admiral Bird Nerd. Big up Meth just for this track. Hope we don't get any copyright strikes. Standard, there's no misunderstanding. MC, nothing else here. Standard, no misunderstanding. Andy PG, crystal clear. Standard, no misunderstanding. Here and I landed. Lyrical skill to be branded. Yo, standard, there's no misunderstanding. MC, nothing else here and I've landed. Lyrical skill to be branded. Branded, look at the outstanding. It's a banger. Full capacity. Anger. Full audacity. Skippy. Too light. Big up everybody tuned in. Andy PG on the decks. Woo! Andy PG on the decks, live inside the Rise Above studio. It's Friday night, everybody. We're getting loose inside the studio tonight, Rise Above family. Big up everybody still tuned in. Rise Above livestream at gmail.com. T-shirts are available. £20 plus postage. Black, khaki and red. We're coming black, khaki and red. Rise Above live. Black, khaki and red. Lay them down, Des. Listen what Double L said. I say in black, khaki and red. Rise Above live. T-shirts dead in them dead. They singing black, khaki and red. Listen what Double L said. Live inside the stream, be dead and dead. Get them on PayPal, doublelmc.co.uk, yeah? Big up Andy PG. Hang Tight Magics, Hurricane, Sasha English, Graham B. Everybody still tuned in. We're popping. Got to keep it moving. Got to keep it bouncing. What? Got to keep it moving. Got to keep it bouncing. Got to get my weed in. High grade by the ounce in. Standard, there's no misunderstanding. NDPG is here and he has landed. absolutely savage. Nothing less than savage. The damage that we're causing, the impact is tragic. Crowd is still applauding. Audio rewarding, soundboard defrauding. Time for drastic measures. Time for drastic measures. Time for drastic measures. Why? Babylon is falling. Did you hear me, bruv? Babylon is falling, falling. Nothing less than savage. The damage, the damage. Rise Above Live, we're absolutely savage each and every Friday night. First things first, vinyl on the slip mat. Second of all, how we play that. First things first, vinyl on the slip mat. A side or B side, which way you flip that. Second of all, yo, listen, yo. First things first, vinyl on the slip mat. A side or B side, which way you gonna flip that. Second of all, finger tap of the fader. Mic it out of the mixer. Time to give them flavor. Big up Clarice Starling, Andy Pandy, Magic's Hurricane. Burning down Babylon. Burning down Babylon. Yes, a dirty carry on. Yes, a dirty carry on. Yo. Wow. Sound of Andy PG, sound of On The Beats. Double LMC, Rise Above Family Original. Hang tight, who that? Harry Gallus, Andy Pandy. Graham B, Clarice Starling. A nice warm Chianti. Okay, PG. You best believe my DJ's got some tricks up his sleeve. You best believe it. We can achieve it. Visualize your goals. You can achieve it. Manifest it. We manifest it. Rise Above Family. Listen. This is hard. Yes, Andy Pandy, what a time to be alive. Rise Above on your Friday night. Tribal beats. As we beat the drum and we raise the vibration for the family. Listen up, listen in. It's good, we're learning as we go. We've been doing this for a long time, we've had a little break. Soviet Union has robbed our skills. Soviet Union's robbed our skills, isn't it? We're all rusty. Start again, from the back to the finish, we come back again. I think a bit lighter. We're going too heavy. We lost one viewer, too heavy. Strong ties we're tethering, weaklings we're severing. There's never been a better time to unleash and get them in.
So close.
Foxy Kobe at Union, yeah.
I can see it.
Big up Graham B, big up Who Dat. Run down the Kobe at Union with every opportunity. Run them down with word power and sound, yeah? Listen. On Double LMC, that's Oma Beats, he's Andy TG. Each and every Friday night, Rise Above Family. Live from the HQ. Live from the HQ.
Will you be mine?
Sprint towards the light that will blind. Open up the mind. Over Beats, live inside. Big up Goldie Girl and cut Graham B, Larry Gallus. Everyone still tuned in. Thank you very much. Probably did 7 hours tonight. Yeah. Live from the Rise Above HQ. We're reaching out to you. Reaching out to each and every one. On the Beats Double L Skin. Live from the Rise Above HQ each and every Friday night. You better tune in, you better look on and subscribe. We rise above, we rise above, we rise above. Rise above extinguishing fear when we generate. When we generate love. Bad boy sound of Over Beats, yes you rise above. Bad boy sound of Double L, yes I rise above. We extinguish fear when we generate love. Extinguish fear when we generate love. That's how we rise above. Everyone that's going to the protest tomorrow, extinguish fear when you generate love. Don't get caught in a George Soros trap. Behave yourself, represent. Inner stand, okay? I'm ashamed to guide you through this wilderness, through this metaphysical jungle. I was sent here. I chose to manifest right now because 3D needs straightening. A transcendental 5D changing in. Double L is an agent of the awakening. Oma Beats is an agent of the awakening. Inner Guardians and Rise Above were agents of the awakening. We work against the dark occult masters who came to represent the shift. We are agents of the rift. Time to rise above. We rise above and we generate fear for them. And we exercise love for them. Yeah. Wicked sound of Oma Beats in the mix, Double L Skin. Standard, brother. And DPG, standard, brother. Yeah, big up Yogi 33. Andy Pandy, Who Dat, Sasha English, Graham B. All the regulars, massive love to each and every one of you. Rise above. Massive respect to Moma Beach, from Andy PG, from Magic, from Inner Guardians, from Spoken, Admiral Bird Nerd. Thank you very much, everybody. Yeah. Rise above. Rise above. Positive vibrations sending all across the anti-Covian dissenter nation. Bun down their system, bun down their control, bun down compliance. Yes, we're on the roll. Bun down the Soviet Union. Shove your mask up your ass, we never will be using them. Take your vaccine and throw it in the bin. We have finished, we're not listening. We won't take compliance, we won't take control, we won't take tyranny. No, no. 100 pounds, 100,000 times we say no on a roll. With a bit of buzz, with a bit of roll, with a bit of cinema, and the mic control, with the bad boy sound of Oma Beat Sub-Zero. Way below the point of freezing, freezing cold. Way below the point of freezing, Sub-Zero. Below the point of freezing, yo, he's -1, -2, -3. Oma Beat, oh! Yeah, big up everybody. Rise above on your Friday night. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tonight we mixed it up with a bit of a session. Oma Beats, Andy PG, myself, Double L Skin. Yeah. We don't just tell the truth, we can bust out too. Yo, yo, big up Oshin. Big up Sasha, big up Becky S. Yeah. See you guys next week. Human vibration. What is space? What is outer space?
Now if the love was so bad, baby, did you say you just kept going wrong? Yeah, we're trying to be alone. I can't know. 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 Now if the love was so bad, baby, did you say you just kept going wrong? Yeah, we're trying to be I can't know. I can't know. I can't know. I can't know. I was sick of feeling alone. You just wrote.
Reload it. Boston, get the camera. I've got to do it. You know what it is, yeah? Step back 2 meters.
2 meters, you cunt.
Step back 2 meters. While the camera is scanning your facial features. Says warning spatial breaches. Observe the government speeches. Strict advice, see the releases. Don't chill at the parks and the beaches. Essential travel, they police it. We know the rules, place to repeat it. Is this about a virus? Is it a plot? What's to control and divide us? Is it a problem, reaction, solution? A manufactured crisis? Depopulate body baggers. Biometric ID taggers. Gates foundation, the facts apparatus. Stinging newborn skin like a cactus. Corona, the crown of your highness. The molecule inside your sinus. This ain't Wuhan bronchitis. Is it actors and medical mafia pirates? 3 million came from Obama. Dr. Fauci through Big Pharma. Move it to Wuhan, ring the alarm. It's our virus, blood, that's karma. Bill Gates made a prediction. He said Event 21 is not a fiction. And 66 million die of corona affliction. Let me spit vocal wisdom. Nothing social but a social distance. Minds get locked in mental prisons. I hope their sentence lessons. They program fear. I shine the torch on the program here. The view from my court to program's clear. 2030's 10 more years. UN wrote the agenda of one world government. Epicenter your soul in your holding your brain in a blender. Double L's real, I'm not a pretender. I've studied their methods. 20 years with my head in the records. 20 years I've been closely observing their MO and inner workings. 20 years with my ears to the ground. Sound predictions are made this time around. And my mind never swayed. I get protected for this day. On the beat. Burn down the Soviet fucking Union. I burn down with every last breath I have inside my body. Trust me, that's how we rise above. Oma beats. We need more 140. I've got no hip hop bars. Oh shit. How am I supposed to remember my bars? Most could ever hope to know. But the chosen few are getting so close. We're closer to the gateway. The path didn't show. This road isn't lit. You weren't supposed to see it, so it's difficult to make way. But ways we'd be making. Our vision of this world is mistaken. When my skin touched the membrane, my mass is displacing. Try to explain it. They told me I was insane. I knew I wasn't faking. You might talk about a struggle, but when you break it down to molecules of rubble, when the world falls to pieces, you'll be left in the aftermath. Burnt in ashes, the last machine is gone and the last computer crashes. It's the end of days. It's the end of our ways as we know it. If you're feeling sorrow, time to show it, so I flow it. And on the beats, yo, we scratch it. Oh, rise above, please react it. Yeah. It's raw. Over beats, double L. Oh yeah! Shit, big up Oma Beats live scratch DJ. Listen, God, it's been so long since I've done hip hop. Yo, politicians, professors, and scientists, they're all controlled by some Rothschild Zionists. Through 2 world wars, they've been trying it. Corporate investment, no matter who the finalists. You don't believe me? Go study history. Check the activity of bloodline dynasty. Sumer, Egypt, and Rome. Consistently, pan-European imperial misery. World conflict. Enact social change, so they want it, blood, but we must abstain. If you don't, then you're in for a world of pain. A workhouse where you dream of a minimum wage. It's much closer than you think. We'd be there now if it wasn't for the cosmic shift. They're panicking, yo, the game is up. It's all illusion, mate. The only truth is love. Sound of Oma Beats. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Rise above. That's the end of the stream. Goodbye, everyone.